here they go. Look at, oh, they are. Look at that. Oh, my. Woo, oh. We got a stunt cycle team going on.
That works, I guess.
I might pull you on.
All right.
About how you feel.
I know, it's not fair. I was just like, I got.
Man, I feel bad for not having my face painted.
Oh yeah, we gotta paint your face.
We're outside the studio. We're right here, right in the middle, ground zero of a tailgate party.
Yeah, you know, this is the actual first official weekend of fall. So the Boys of Fall really has meaning tonight, but it is unseasonably hot right now. So, but there's a lot of excitement. I think it would be hot no matter what because it's homecoming week here at Maple Mountain. A lot of excitement, a lot of great things going on.
And it's Spanish Fork in Maple Mountain. That just adds fuel to the already warm fire that's already going. They've got a history already. You got to say they're about as big of rivals as they have in the region.
Yeah, and we're only about, 29 minutes from kickoff, and so there's the anticipation. You can see it out on the field. The guys are getting warm. There's definitely some anticipation, getting excited to get into this game. They're both coming in a must-win situation where they stand in the region right now.
And there's a lot going on here at the tailgate party. There's music, there's food, there's entertainment. We got kids everywhere. I mean, half an hour till kickoff, you can already feel the electricity, and we're going to have a really fun night tonight.
Yeah, we are, and I'm excited about seeing all of the kids come out of that locker room. They're going to be jazzed up. They're going to be excited. You know that both sides of the fans are going to be excited. There's a lot of maroon. There's a lot of red and gray in the stands. And, again, this warm weather is going to be kind of a nice night, especially for those quarterbacks that both like to throw the ball around.
Absolutely. No wind. It's a perfect night for football. And we've got Spanish Fork 17 here to bring the game to you, and we'll talk about that in a few minutes about how people can watch it. But we're going to take and we're joined by Freddie Woods, who's also he works with us here at 17, and he covers Maple Mountain. He's kind of our Maple Mountain specialist go-to guy.
Yeah, and there's a lot of exciting things going on right out here in the parking lot. We're going to show you some of those things here in just a minute. Let's go ahead and kick it over to Freddie right now.
Thanks, guys. Maple Mountain is looking to smash Spanish Fork tonight on the football field, and the students have obviously been getting some practice here. What is homecoming without a little car smashing, right? This is a tradition that was brought back this year. As you can see, the car is painted with Spanish Fork and things like that. And we missed a lot of the action, but some of the students are still going at it, as you can see. They're paying $1 a hit, and they're having a blast with it. We've got Courtney here with us. Courtney actually, come on in here, Courtney.
30 seconds.
Courtney got to beat in a window, actually. Tell us a little bit about that experience, Courtney.
Oh, it was pretty great.
This is 1 minute,
It just
right?
shattered. It was awesome.
Tell us about the hitting technique. I know that's really important.
Well, you have to hold on at the bottom and then slide down as you smash.
Okay.
Yeah.
Are you planning on hitting any more tonight, or are you about done?
I don't know. I might. It's pretty fun.
And how are you students feeling about the game tonight? Are you going to bring the heat? Are you going to be there for your team?
Oh, yeah. It's going to be awesome. We're going to wreck Spanish Fork.
Okay.
Yeah.
So some school spirit in full swing here, and the students are excited as always. Maple Mountain Student Section is known to other schools in the district as being very intense, very heated at football games. And this is a rivalry that goes back 6 years. This is in its 7th year since Maple Mountain was founded in '09. And Maple Mountain looking for a win tonight. They're at 1 loss, and of course their only loss came in a heartbreaker to Spanish Fork. It was on a PAT. And so they're looking for a little bit of revenge. And it looks like the car is about done. The car's about beat in. Let's go look at the damage a little bit, shall we? So as you can see, students have done their worst. They've hit this from all angles. And Maple Mountain students are hoping that this is kind of a foreshadow to what their football team is going to do to Spanish Fork tonight. If you could see this trunk, guys, this is absolutely beautiful what they've done here, the damage they've done. And so that's the destruction over here. And Maple Mountain hoping to get it done on the football field as well. But we will toss it over to Ken and Sam to see what they've got for us. And we'll talk to you guys at another phase.
Hi, we're back here in that car, Sam. Kind of looks like what mine did by the time I graduated from Spanish Fork High School.
Yeah, just a little bit before Freddie took over, there was a bunch of kids over there beating on it. I wish we could have captured some of that, but hopefully you get a little B-roll in that and see those guys beating on that car.
Absolutely, and it is a warm day. We got the sun in our face. By the time kickoff and that sun goes down, it's going to be a perfect night for football. We're real excited. We'll take a quick break. When we come back, we'll talk to the announcers for tonight's game, and we'll be right back after this break.
Need a new car or truck? The Car Guys has the best selection of used vehicles at the best prices in Spanish Fork. The Car Guys know their automobiles to get you the best car for your needs and your budget. The Car Guys at 872 North Main in Spanish Fork.
In Spanish Fork, see your good neighbor State Farm agent Lance Wilson for your insurance and financial needs.
MVP Sports is the #1 source for sporting goods in Spanish Fork. Football, soccer, all the fall sports, we've got you covered. Check out our new custom t-shirt builder. Design at home and we'll build it for you. MVP Sports, 72 North Main in Spanish Fork.
Hey, welcome back to Maple Mountain High School, getting ready for the Spanish Fork Maple Mountain Showdown in just a minute. And we're joined here, along with Ken Money, Ryan Pickens, the Spanish Fork football announcer. Ryan, tell us a little bit about your background and how you got to become an announcer for SF17.
So I started back in high school, actually back home in Oregon. We had a small community radio station right there at our high school that put our local high school football games on. So I contacted them when I was about a sophomore, junior in high school and started with them. And then we had just great opportunities came up throughout with different stations around home in Oregon. And then I moved down here and I actually filled in on a Spanish Fork baseball game at the state tournament 2 years ago. And then they contacted me later on that summer about the job, and then did Maple Mountain last year. And this year it's good to come over to Spanish Fork.
Are you having a lot of fun doing it?
I am. I have a lot of fun. I work full time, and so it gives me an opportunity just to kind of relax on a Friday night and be able to call games. And it's great to see the teams. I mean, the teams that we do here on Spanish Fork 17 are really good, and throughout the entire region has been just phenomenal.
Well, and here in just a minute, we're going to grill you on some questions. But before we get there, I want to ask you, what is the best moment you've had so far on SF17 in terms of calling a game?
I have to say that the state championship baseball game this year, that was to have Maple Mountain play their way through the bottom part of the bracket to match up with Spanish Fork, and then just the excitement the way it ended. A close game, Maple Mountain ties the game late, and then Spanish Fork, Nick Roberts able to come around to score. I mean, just a great game all the way around the board. That was definitely probably one of the most exciting games I've ever had an opportunity to be a part of.
Yeah, there certainly was a lot of energy buzzing around during that game. And I'll turn it over to you for a minute.
So I know you've probably been a sports junkie your whole life, I'm guessing, and it really helps. So when you're watching games, I'm just curious, when you're watching games at home, do you listen to some of the catch lines those guys say and think, I'm going to use that when I go to Spanish Fork Maple Mountain game Friday night?
I really try not to. Obviously, I have those broadcasters I listened to growing up. Being in the Pacific Northwest, I watched a lot of Dave Niehaus, who's the broadcaster for the Seattle Mariners. So I watched a lot of him and listened to him over the years. I really try not to. I try to just make the broadcast original, but every now and then one kind of slips out here and there.
So you got like a catchphrase that you just love that's just all you? If you don't, you should come up with one.
I really should. I've been kind of thinking about that. Some of my roommates and friends have kind of asked me that same question. I haven't come up with one yet. Again, if you have ideas.
Let's work on one, Sam, during the show, a catchphrase. Okay, we're going to quiz you exactly, see if you put your money where your mouth is and how much you know about this rivalry in Spanish Fork and Maple Mountain football. Okay. Sam's got a first question, and I'll turn it over to you.
Okay. All right, Ryan, tell us this. Which team scores the most in the first half, Maple Mountain or Spanish Fork?
I would say Spanish Fork.
I don't know if he got the email earlier, but that is right. Spanish Fork scores 16 points to Maple Mountain's 12. Spanish Fork seems to get a little bit of a faster start out of the gates.
How about rushing? Let's talk about rushing. Who's rushing for more yards? I'll give you a hint. The national average is about 183 yards a game. And so as you think about the two teams, typically Spanish Fork's been a throwing team. Who would you think is the better rushing team statistically to this point, Maple Mountain or Spanish Fork?
With the year Nate Kiesel's been having, I think he's the leading rusher for Spanish Fork coming into tonight. I'm going to go with Spanish Fork on this one, but it could be close.
How many yards, Sam?
125 for Spanish Fork to 134 for Maple Mountain. So Maple Mountain has the edge on the rushing side so far.
So okay, now let's go to passing. Now I'll give you another hint. National average is 120 yards a game, and we throw the ball a lot around here in Utah. So between Maple Mountain and Spanish Fork, who would you say is the #1 passing team of the two?
See, this is hard because Nate Kiesel's had some great throws this year, especially some of those deep balls.
Who's caught most of those deep balls? That would be number 84.
Yeah, Jackson Higginson.
Yeah,
Jackson Higginson, the deep threat.
All season. I think I called 2 touchdowns last week for him. So
we've been calling it all season too, even when he's not doing anything. We call it. He's our favorite.
I would say, while Nate Kiesel's had a great year, I would say probably Jaron Hall maybe has been a little more consistent, maybe a little less drop passes. I'm going to go with Maple Mountain on this one.
Sam?
That one he is wrong. Spanish Fork with 221 yards on average and 198 for Maple Mountain, which is interesting because, we have 2 great quarterbacks here. Nate Kiesel filling the shoes of Jason Money, a great quarterback, and then Jaron Hall, a 4-year starter. So there's some 2 great quarterbacks. We should see a showdown tonight.
It's nice they're both healthy because I really think both offenses are going to go as their quarterbacks go, it sounds like. Okay, Sam, you got a next question for us? Ready to go?
Yeah, what's the average total yards for Maple Mountain and Spanish Fork?
Like combined?
Yes.
I'm going to say around 450.
What do you got, Ken?
Good question. Spanish Fork 347 yards, Maple Mountain 332 yards. That is a lot of offense. This game it could be a final
really close. It's a tight margin there.
Absolutely. I mean, this final score could be 56-54. Whoever has the ball last has a chance to win this game. So let's turn it to defense a little bit, which, defense, that's a win game, but it kind of bores us as announcers. But what would you say? Let's go over the first defensive question. You got one ready to go?
Yeah, and I don't know if it would bore you because we have Mace Funa on the Spanish Fork Dons, and he's had quite a season for a freshman.
Now, I'm going to say last time during the game, I think he made 9 tackles in a row. I'm not exaggerating. It seems like he made, tackles for losses, tackles downfield. He was unbelievable. So, okay, let's cue up a defensive question.
Okay, who wins in the battle of tackles? Who has the most tackles? Which player, Spanish Fork or Maple Mountain?
Like one player on either team?
Well, let's go total tackles.
Which is kind of a weird statistic, really. It just depends on the pace of the game. But let's just talk total tackles. We're just going to test you. Yes.
Between the 2 teams? I don't know. With the way Mace Funa and Salofa Funa have had this great year, Maple Mountain, though, has been playing really well defensively. It's got to be another one that's close. I got to keep saying that. Eventually, I'm going to get one right. But I think at the end of the day, I'm going to go Spanish Fork.
Okay.
All right. Well, I one more question then. We've said a lot of names tonight. Let's see if those names carry true for this. But who has the best average tackles for Spanish Fork, or the most average tackles per game for Spanish Fork and for Maple Mountain?
I'm going to go Landon Jensen for Spanish Fork.
Good guess, but
wrong. Jess Barclay. But
okay.
Close.
He was my second guess because I see him and Jensen, they fly all over the ball, and that's going to be a matchup to watch tonight, especially to watch and see how much pressure Spanish Fork brings on Jaron Hall with those guys. It could be very interesting very quickly.
Okay, I got a bonus question here. The most interesting statistic you can tell me about Mace Funa, a 9th grade 14-year-old. What's the most important statistic you can throw out about Mace?
4 interceptions early on in the season.
How many for touchdowns?
All of them have been for touchdowns. 3, that's right. 3 of the 4. That's right, because he had the one that he didn't quite get. Yeah. One more, and he ties the state record, and that's 4 is the state record. So one more, and I was really hoping last week that would happen, but he came about this close from getting an interception. But give him a time. He's going to probably get one throughout the rest of the season.
Well, if he gets one against Jaron Hall, he earns it. He deserves it because he's just so well. He's just so poised back there. Okay, let's talk about leading score. Now, this was a kind of surprise to Sam and I. If you had to pick the leading score for both teams, it seems pretty obvious to me. What's your guess?
Nate Kiesel.
Wrong.
Jaron Hall.
Wrong.
Boy.
Give you a hint.
I'm trying to think. Tanner Dayton.
Oh, very good. And
James Daw, they're both tied at 6.2, and this is for the average score. 6.2 for Tanner Dayton and 12 for James Daw. So pretty interesting.
And that's one interesting thing to watch is that this game comes down to a field goal. Tanner Dayton's leg could carry Maple Mountain over Spanish Fork because he can put him out there from around 50, and that's almost unheard of really at the high school level. Not very many kickers are going to put it through at 50.
Well, and we know how important the kicking is, an extra point. I mean, they were one extra point away from going to overtime when they played against Springville. That missed extra point was huge. Sam, one last question?
Yeah, we got the battle of the quarterbacks tonight. We've talked a lot about those two kids, Jaron Hall and Nate Kiesel, both stud quarterbacks. I think that they've got to be ranked in the top 3 or 4 in the entire state. Let's talk about that. Who wins in rushing, Nate or Jaron?
Nate Kiesel, because he'll get, I think, a little more carries than Jaron Hall.
Yeah, you know, it's interesting. Jaron Hall didn't run as much last year, but he's ran a lot this year, and they're both averaging in the 60s. Nate at 64, Jaron at 61.
It's kind of surprising. You'd think they would want to keep Jaron in the pocket a little bit more. They've got a big, offensive line that's strong. You think they would want to protect him because really both teams are going to go as the quarterbacks go for injuries. But as far as I know, and maybe you could fill us in, everybody seems to be pretty healthy up to this point.
Yeah, everybody seems really healthy, and that's going to be something to watch tonight. I've been interested to see if Maple Mountain kind of goes down to maybe that read option play a little bit more with Jaron Hall's speed. He had that big touchdown run, I think, week 2 of the year for the Golden Eagles against Corner Canyon, and that's definitely something to watch. I'm interested to see, but with the way the outside linebackers for Spanish Fork plays, that could be kind of a hard assignment tonight to try to do that read option because it all goes totally on the idea of how that defensive end and that linebacker commits to who. So it's going to be a very interesting matchup there to watch.
Yes, I think of big, strong guys, as you always do on the offensive line. When I think of Spanish Fork, I think of Tanner Parker. He looks like an NFL player to me out there already, and he's coming off an injury. And, Maple Mountain's got a big, strong guy that plays both ways in the middle of the line, too, and I'll let you pronounce his name.
Yeah, Noel.
Ula Fale?
No, I think it's Noel and Anufe. I'm gonna get
yes, Anufe. Good.
I'm gonna get that right here in about I have about 15 minutes to figure out all these and get these 100% right. But that's the thing. He plays both ways. He's gonna see right in the middle a nose guard on the defensive side. He's gonna lead that anchor, that center spot for Maple Mountain. It's gonna be an interesting matchup just to see, especially on that defensive side, can that Spanish Fork line keep him from getting pressure to open up gaps for those middle linebackers and those outside linebackers for Maple Mountain. I'm really interested to see over the course of 4 quarters. We're going to call his name quite a bit tonight. And it's going to be interesting. Just this whole matchup has been one of those ones that you kind of you have circled on your calendar from week 1 of the high school sports season.
Well, and I think both teams are really lucky to have sharp young coaches that are energetic, and they've got their work cut out for them, trying to keep the emotions in check in a big game like this, a big rivalry game. I mean, you know what it's like, Sam. The butterflies are flying, and until you kind of get that first hit in, you're really hard to calm down. How about Jackson, your son at home? Can you tell the difference this week? A little on edge. I know he's been sick. Does it act like he's ready to go? I mean, are they just fired up?
Yeah, they are definitely fired up. This is a game that, again, just like the Salem game, you have a lot of friends here. They hang out together. They do a lot of things together. And so you want to beat your friends more than anybody, and there's definitely a lot of exciting things. I wanted to point out one stat, though. Spanish Fork is 2-0 in away games, and Maple Mountain is 2-0 at home. So they're both statistically set up to be victorious tonight, so it's going to be really tough. And we've only got just we are down to about 14 minutes before kickoff. We've got a few things we got to put in. So let's get immediately right into tonight's game. Who's going to win those matchups? Ken, if you want to take him through some of those. I'll start it off. Offensively, who's going to win in the passing side?
I think Spanish Fork, I think they're going to get some big plays tonight, and I think that's going to really be a big thing. I'm interested to watch Dawson Butler line up at corner for Maple Mountain, whether he gets the matchup on Jackson Higginson or on Isaac Pendleton. That's going to be kind of one of those matchups I'm looking forward to watching.
Okay, we're down. We're just about ready for a break. I want your professional opinion. I want a score and a prediction right now, and before we go to commercial.
I think it's going to be a high-scoring affair. I think it's 42-35, but I think at the end of the day, it's going to come down to the end of which team doesn't turn the ball over, and I think at the end of the day, it's going to be Nate Kiesel. I think Spanish Fork has played enough close games this year to be on the road to have the opportunity to not make those mistakes late in the game. And I think Maple Mountain, they've both played a lot of close games. Don't get me wrong. It's going to be a good one, but I think at the end of the day, Nate Kiesel is going to be able to try to figure out a way to get it done.
I think you're right. There's going to be a lot. It's going to be, the scoreboard is going to be going crazy. That's awesome. Ryan, thank you. Good luck. Have a great call tonight on the game. We look forward to people at home listening to those wisdom. Come up with a catchphrase for us before the fourth quarter, would you?
I'll try. I'll do everything I can.
Okay. We'll take a quick break, and when we come back, we'll talk a little bit more about tonight's football game, and we'll be right back.
Saturday night, September 26th, Spanish Fork is gonna rumble as Larry H. Miller Chevrolet Provo proudly presents the second annual Rematch Results Spanish Fork fighting for a pure freestyle bullfight at the Spanish Fork Rodeo Grounds. 12 of the top freestyle bullfighters from around the country will take on the meanest and baddest fighting bulls you have ever seen. All to raise money for the Juvenile Diabetes Research Foundation. Brought to you by Utah Valley Power Sports, Cabela's, and Rock Canyon Bank. You'll pay for the whole seat, but you'll only need the edge.
At Curves, we know there's a part of you that's unshakable, and another part that's unbelievable, and so many parts of you that are unstoppable. Women like you have inspired us to add exciting new classes to our one-of-a-kind circuit. From brand new fitness classes that target what you care about, like your core, balance, and flexibility, to Jillian Michaels' total body workouts, the Curves circuit strengthens every part of every woman. Curves, strengthening women inside and out.
Hi, this is Paul Drockton with Drockton Bullion & Coin. Many of you are worried about paper and as a result have already invested in gold and silver. Did you know that there's a physical possession IRA where you get all the tax benefits, but you can actually manage where your gold and silver is stored? Why trust a depository where your gold may not be available when you need it? Come to Drockton Bullion & Coin. Not only do we offer gold and silver, we offer security.
Grandma, are you coming to my game today?
I have a dentist appointment. I'll try and make it.
At Gunderson Dental, we know you are busy. Family, work, friends, and everything else in your life makes it hard to make time for dental work. Dr. Gunderson and his friendly staff will help you keep on schedule so you can do those things that really matter. Same-day treatment gets more work done with fewer visits and less time. Let us help you feel and look better faster. Be there for the important moments. Call us today at Gunderson Dental in Payson.
Maple Mountain High School. I'm Ken Money, joined by
Sam Higginson.
And Sam, it sounds like we're kind of in the library. It's kind of quiet around here. That's what I'm talking about. So, you know, you can tell we're in the parking lot of Maple Mountain High School. It's homecoming this week. And let's see who's here. I want to hear a name and what year you are in school. We're going to go quick.
Ashley Senior, Savannah Junior, Sarah Senior, Shalise Senior, Talia Sophomore,
Briggs Jr.,
Heather Senior, McKay Senior,
Ina Senior,
Lana Senior, Gentry Junior.
Oh man! All right.
It sounds like they didn't let any sophomores into this group tonight, so that's kind of a tough thing. But there are a lot of things going on homecoming week. We've had a car being beat up out here earlier. They had a tailgate party. There was some food. It sounds like there's a big dance coming up this weekend.
Who's
I would
going to
imagine.
homecoming? Raise your hand.
I'm going to homecoming.
All right, some exciting things. Ken, why don't you, let's ask a few of these girls. What's your favorite thing about homecoming week?
I just love that we get to dress up all fancy for the dance, and I just love the school spirit, like the whole week that there's just everyone's so pumped up and excited to be a Golden Eagle. Yeah!
Let's get a prediction on the game.
Okay.
Let's see what they think. And I want specifics.
Okay, I want a final score right now. Who's going to win tonight's game?
Golden Eagles.
What's
That's
the score?
Not a question. I don't know. We are far ahead of you.
Far ahead of us. Okay, I want a prediction.
Maple Mountain 103, Spanish Fork 2.
All right.
If that happens, I'll be really glad that I'm here because that would be a world record, I would think. I can't imagine.
I say they get their wallet out and put their money where their mouth is because I don't think there's any way that's happening. Okay, so tell me, besides what has been going on, some of the things that have been going on, because I know homecoming week goes all week long. Step right up here, excuse me, and tell us a little bit about what's been going on all week here at Maple Mountain High School.
Okay, so Monday we had a superhero dress-up day, and we had our Powder Puff game.
And what superhero were you?
I was a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle.
Okay.
And then on Tuesday we had Tropical Tuesday, where we were tropical, and we had our music fest, and we had a bunch of singers here. Wednesday we had our wildlife and wear animal clothes, and we had our drive-in movie. That was pretty fun. And then Thursday we had throwback, so Decade Day. And then today was Spirit Day, and we have the game and dance.
I didn't hear anything about class all week long. Is that true? No school? Just party, just fun. All right, so we're pretty sure that the game's going to be close. One of these teams is going to have 2 losses in the region, and so this is you're going to need to get all your friends out here to be backing Maple Mountain because you're going to need it, right?
Yeah, a lot of exciting things, but we're going to take a break really quick. You guys want to take us out really quick?
Okay, I want a little school spirit.
If you have pets, you need PERT, ChemDry's revolutionary pet urine odor and stain remover. ChemDry's innovative pet urine removal treatment eliminates pet urine and other odors at their source. Your pets can stay while their odors go away.
Voted 2014 Best Automotive Repair in Utah Valley Magazine, Dickerson Automotive.
I think the whatchamacallit on my car isn't working.
Not to worry, we're experts at fixing whatchamacallits.
Call for our specials or visit our website.
At Dickerson Automotive, we're committed to the finest repairs with personal care.
I trust Dickerson Automotive, and you can too.
Dickerson Automotive, way north on Main in Spanish Fork. Life, Medicare, and health insurance can certainly be a confusing mess. At the Health Insurance Center, we will help you understand your options and provide for you the highest quality plans available, along with some of the lowest rates in the state. We want to create long-lasting relationships, so you will always know the best options for your changing health care needs. Contact John at 801-400-6473 or visit our website for more information.
Here at Painter Motor, we have a variety of used vehicles from name brands such as Dodge, Buick, Ford, Kia, Hyundai, and Chevrolet. You'll find incredible deals, such as a 2013 Chrysler Town & Country for $18,995, the 2013 Chevrolet Impala LTZ, $14,995. We're the Painter Motor family, and we're here to get you on the road in the vehicle of your choice. No pressure, no hassle. Painter Motor.
Guys, I'm here with Kiana and Amber. Most of the students have gone to the football field. They're getting ready for game time as we're only a few minutes away. But of course, student council gets to clean up the car bashing mess. And these guys are over here doing their duty. They've also been busy this week, I'm sure at least this week, planning festivities for tonight and all throughout the week. Guys, tell us a little bit about what you've been planning and how it's been happening.
Well, mostly we've been just trying to make activities that will be fun and that most students can go to and that will get them pumped for the game and for just the dance and stuff like that.
What other things have you done specifically to get people pumped for this game?
We've advertised it all week long, and we've had our cinematographer here. His name's Talon Snyder. He's really great, and he's made super good commercials, and everyone's been so excited, and I just think everyone is pumped.
It looks like the student section is pretty pumped. They're over there already getting loud. If you guys had one piece of advice to give the football team, maybe you won't get to give it to them in person, but I'll be on the sideline, maybe I can give it to them for you. What would you tell them tonight in order to get the victory?
Play hard.
That's what I was gonna say.
Anything other than play hard? Anything else?
The student council loves you.
Okay. And we've got some motivation. Got some motivation from the student council. Guys, some people think that home field advantage is a real thing. Others doubt that it has any influence on the game. The student section looks pretty big and looks like it's getting loud to me. What do you guys think?
I think it definitely has an effect on how the football players play because one is on student council and he says the louder you are, the better they play.
Okay.
I think that it doesn't matter if it's home or away as long as your students go out to support and are loud. I just think we just need to be loud, be proud, and the football players really appreciate us.
And Maple Mountain has been known for that school spirit, right, throughout the years. What influence do you think the team has when they win a game? So kind of reverse. When they win a game, what does it do for the school, not just the student council, but the student body?
I think it just builds school pride, and you're just proud to be an Eagle, you know?
Yeah, if we're on a winning streak, I know more people want to come out to see us win, and so I think they have a great influence on the student body.
Thank you guys so much for your time. We'll let you keep cleaning up. We don't want to take too much of your time. Want to let you get over there. But thank you guys for your time.
Thank you.
Guys, this is a rivalry that goes back, as we said, 6 years. And students are so excited about it, pumped about it. And you've got to remember, these are kids that have been going to junior high together and maybe even younger. And so that of course, makes for a good rivalry. Students are ready. Football team is ready. And we'll toss it to you guys.
Sam, we're just minutes away from kickoff. If people can't make it down here to Spanish Fork to Maple Mountain High School, how can they watch the game tonight?
Well, I'll tell you what, I was firsthand experience last week. I had an opportunity to go to the YouTube /Spanish Fork 17. And
Well, you were working in France.
While I was working in France,
Okay.
Lyon, France, at 3:30 in the morning. I got up, watched the game live. Beautiful place to watch it. You can also go to sfcn.org and click on the tab to watch it. And tonight's game, you can watch on both Channel 17 and Channel 16. So this is kind of a unique experience for SFCN 17 because you get to watch the same game on both channels. So it's pretty awesome.
Right, and I know I'm asking the wrong person about a prediction here, but I'm going to ask you anyway. I want a win and a score.
All right, Garrett Blanthorne is a really tough kid on defense. James Wilson's having a great year on offense. Jaron Hall, we all know about him, a BYU commit. They're a stud team. But with the Spanish Fork defense, watching film from both teams, I think they're really evenly matched. But I think that the defense is going to be a little bit better on the Spanish Fork side. So I'm going to go with Spanish Fork. I'm going to go against the great Zook, and I'm going to pick Spanish Fork.
You know, I'm with you. I've even got a score. I'm going to one-up you. I'm going to go Spanish Fork 28, Maple Mountain 27.
You know what? I think that's a pretty good score right there. I'm going to go 28-24 for Spanish Fork.
Okay, very good. We're just a minute away from kickoff. Make sure you, if you can't make it down, you watch us on Spanish Fork 17, and then join us again at halftime as we recount the first half and get things ready to go for the second half. It's been an awful lot of fun tonight and a perfect night, and everybody's left the tailgate party and they're heading for the stadium, and we will see you at halftime. Thanks for joining us here on Spanish Fork 17.
And we also want to thank our sponsors, Salem Chevron and Burger King, for sponsoring this show tonight, and we're going to go ahead and kick it over to Ryan and Brandon for the showdown.
Yeah, he's ready. We know we've already talked to him, we've quizzed him, we filled him in. He's working on his catchphrase, so at halftime we'll kind of see how he does with that. So we'll go ahead and turn it over to the guys in the booth, to Ryan and Brandon. Thanks for joining us here at Spanish Fork 17, and we'll see you.
Thank you for joining us tonight here at Maple Mountain High School. Ryan Pickens alongside Brandon Crow. And Brandon, great to be working with you here tonight. We have an exciting atmosphere. It's homecoming week here at Maple Mountain. We have two teams right now playing for second place in Region 8, and their crosstown rivals. This is set up to be a great 4 quarters of football.
Yeah, likewise, Ryan. It's a pleasure to be here with you. Always good football this time of year down in this part of the valley, and especially with Maple Mountain doing well. Coach Burtonshaw's squad 4-1 now on the season, and this is setting up to be, I don't want to say it and jinx it early, but it could be an instant classic.
Definitely, no doubt. Spanish Fork coming in after the tough loss last week to Springville on a game in which they played toe-to-toe, just similarly the way Maple Mountain did, but once again Springville able to find that one play to really change the momentum of the game. What's the key tonight for both of these teams to keeping this one close and an exciting one?
Well, as we've seen with the games against Springville, the fundamentals were what happened to be the Achilles heel for both teams. And so I think Coach Burtonshaw, he learned from that, as we can tell with the Golden Eagles' 23-6 win over Tooele last week. But I think, again, especially here with crosstown rivals, key to the fundamentals, stick to what you know and do them well, and I think the Golden Eagles will be fine.
Well, we're setting up for a great 4 quarters. Maple Mountain will get the ball first, and they're going to be led by senior quarterback Jaron Hall, who really, when you look at it, 4-year starter here at Maple Mountain, now having that senior year where an opportunity, maybe not just to get out of the first round of the playoffs, but an opportunity to maybe get deeper into the second round, even maybe the quarter or semifinals. With the way this team is playing right now, it's been the sky's the limit right now for Maple Mountain.
Maple Mountain is led by Jaron Hall. Jaron Hall, you may think he could just do it all with his arm, but he does it with his legs and his arm as well. We've seen him taking games into his own hands this year and score 3-4 touchdowns in the air and then 3-4 touchdowns on the ground as well. And so a very interesting matchup tonight between the Spanish Fork defense and the Maple Mountain offense.
It's going to be fun, ready to go. Spanish Fork in the white tops, white pants, the silver helmets. Maple Mountain in the kind of the gray tops, maroon pants, and the maroon helmets. We're just about set, ready to go. James Daw, number 85, going to put a foot into it. He's got the ball on his 40-yard line. Going back deep, it's going to be Quinn Hooper and Harrison Casper back deep for the Golden Eagles. We're about ready to go. The anticipation has built. Rivalry football here on Spanish Fork 17 about to begin. James Daw will begin his approach, and we're underway with a deep kickoff as balloons fly, and it's going to be Casper on the return. They're going to try the reverse, gets outside to about the 15-yard line, lowers his head around the 20, and he's going to be out around the 24-yard line. And that's going to be a first down coming up here for Maple Mountain. You talk about that Maple Mountain offense. A new offensive coordinator this year, Jerry Huffman, takes over. A senior quarterback in Jaron Hall, and that really sets up well for a team when you have a senior quarterback.
It does, and especially when you have weapons to work with. Not only do you have Jaron Hall, but you got Dawson Butler, and you have Wilson on the outside to provide huge targets for Hall to work with on either side. And like I said, I'm excited to watch Jaron Hall work his magic again, and we already have trips to the left-hand side to start off.
Shotgun set for Jaron Hall. He's standing back at his own 30-yard line. James Wilson last year played on the other side of the ball for the Spanish Fork Dons. Here's the first down. The carry goes right up the middle. And getting that first down carry is number 33. And that, I don't have a 33 on my roster here. Brad King, it looks like, the senior running back. And one thing for Maple Mountain, you're going to see maybe a little more run than we saw in the past, but they're not afraid to also spread that field with that senior quarterback, Jaron Hall, heading to BYU. Second down and 9, shotgun set. Here's the three-step drop, the screen pass out, in and out of the hands of James Wilson. Trying to pick it up was Tanner Argyle, but they're going to say incomplete pass. But a heads-up play by Tanner Argyle there to know maybe that ball was behind him and try to pick it up at least.
Yeah, it looked like James Wilson tried to run with it before he caught it, and maybe there's a little pregame jitters, if you will, playing against his former teammates and a lot of his best friends, really. And so a lot of big butterflies for this game.
Third down and 9, ball in the 26. Golden Eagles looking for the 35 for a first down. Hall from shotgun, three-step drop. He's going to look over the middle. He's got a man up and over, and that pass is intercepted. Apui's got it at the 30. He's going to be at the 25 to the 20 to the 15, has some blockers to the 5, and he's going to be out of bounds, it looks like, at around the 1.5, 2-yard line, and already an early turnover favors Spanish Fork, but we have whistles blowing pretty quickly, and there's a flag that has come in down around the 5-yard line.
Well, I honestly don't think that Jaron Hall saw the defender in the back. I believe it looked like Devin Argyle, as we take a look and see the personal foul going against Spanish Fork after the play. But again, a costly turnover early in the game for Jaron Hall and the Golden Eagles as we take a look at this replay.
Shotgun, three-step
Jaron
drop.
Hall looking,
he's going to look over the middle. He's got a man up and over, and that pass is intercepted. Up.
Entire time. And he just overthrew him, and it was really, Apui had, it was right in his hand. He had nothing to do but just catch the ball and run.
And this has been something for Spanish Fork this year. They have had a very good knack against passing teams of coming up with the interceptions. And now their first and goal from the 1 after the personal foul was changed against Maple Mountain. And now we'll see quarterback Nate Kiesel lead out the Dons with Salo Fafuna, the deep back. And likely a chance here is the Dons will try to get that final player on the field. Likely a chance we're going to see Salo Fafuna with it. Kiesel's going to give it right up the middle. Salo Fafuna, he's going to be close, but I think he's short. Maybe a half a yard short or so, bringing up a second and goal from the 1.
Nola Newfane Company making it very difficult to move the ball for any team this season, and especially right there for Kiesel and the offense of Spanish Fork.
So now it's going to be set up a second down and goal from the 1 as Spanish Fork looks to try to strike first here. 10:37 to go here in the first quarter. 2 receivers to the bottom of your screen. Jackson Higginson coming off his 2 touchdowns last week. And Kiesel bobbles the snap, but he was able to fall right back on it. Hill's going to lose about 3, maybe 4 yards back to around the 4-yard line. And what almost was a disastrous turnover for Spanish Fork.
That could have been very bad. But Kiesel, smart heads-up play to decide to just fall on it instead of trying to pick it up and do too much with it. And again, sets up a crucial third down. You get in this prime field position, it would be a shame to come away with just 3 points.
3rd and goal. A big situation coming here for the Dons. We'll see if they can convert. And you have to kind of wonder, in a sense, if they might be with the way Spanish Fork struggled with the kicking game at times in some 2-down territory. 4 receivers on the play. Braden Christensen, the tight end. Kiesel on the keeper at the 5. He's going to get in, but there's a flag, and this one's probably coming back. A procedure call, it looks like, against Spanish Fork. This is one of those penalties, something we saw last week in that Spanish Fork Springville game, that penalties came back to be kind of a tough night for Spanish Fork, led to a lot of penalties, and now it's 3rd and 9, Brandon, instead of 3rd and 4.
Yeah, I believe it was Josh Graham who was trying to pull to go to the left side, open up a hole for Kiesel, got a little too excited, moved just a little bit early, costly field position again.
3rd down and 9. Once again, lone back, and here's Kiesel. He's going to throw it out there. That's complete. Trying to get to the end zone was Isaac Pendleton. He's ushered quickly out of bounds. Coming up to make the stop was number 29. That's Jonathan Elmore getting there, throwing him down. And now 4th down and goal from about the 3. It looks like Spanish Fork's going to bring out James Daw for the 3-point field goal try.
Well, if you're Coach Burtonshaw, you have to tip your cap to your defense and be really excited here. Again, awesome field position within the 1 to 2 yard line, and you're holding them to a field goal.
4th down and 3. James Daw on for the 3-point for the field goal try. Snap is down. Argyle with the hold. The kick is up. It looks good, and it is good. And the Spanish Fork Dons have found a way to strike first with 9:40 to go in the first quarter. The Dons take that early turnover, and they take 3, and a very good setup early on for Spanish Fork.
You got to capitalize in a game like this with these teams. You have to capitalize on turnovers, especially if they're given to you as well as it was for Spanish Fork. I mean, a crucial moment right now, if you're Coach Burtonshaw, is to make sure you still have confidence in Jaron Hall and make sure he has confidence in himself and his receivers. And I wouldn't be surprised if the first play that we see is another pass.
And it's one of those things, too, you know, the emotion of the entire week here with it being homecoming. This is the big homecoming game, and we talked about this a little bit, Brandon, on the Spanish Fork broadcast last week, me and Chris, just how much this week the football game really kind of culminates the entire week.
Yeah, students, they have this game circled on their calendar for their whole, as soon as the year comes, as soon as the schedule is released, and they know they got activities all throughout the week, and they see these guys across town. You know, sometimes they date each other's friends and girlfriends, sisters. Who knows? It's a huge game, and it all depends here on football.
Kick goes to about the 8-yard line. Coming on the return, it's Hooper out across the 25-yard line, and he looks like he's going to go down right around the 30-yard line is where they're going to mark it. So a good opportunity here for Maple Mountain. They got pretty good field position. But like you said, Brandon, an opportunity now for Maple Mountain's offense to say, okay, Jaron, we have a lot of confidence in you. You got to get your confidence back. Let's go start off with some passing.
I really want to see a pass play to really instill that confidence back in Jaron Hall. We all know he's a confident quarterback and a confident player, but just to help get his momentum back and help get his teammates back on his side, I want to see a nice pass play. And it looks like we got an opportunity with trips left.
Trips to the left, single back set for Jaron Hall. 1st down and 10 from the 29-yard line. Here's the option play. Hall's going to keep it, and bringing him down, it looked like was Salofa Funa and Mace Funa both getting there to bring down Jaron Hall. He's going to lose about 4 yards. I'm sorry, it looks like Tukuwafu got there, and that's going to lose 4, and that's maybe not the start you wanted if you're Maple Mountain.
No. Spanish Fork's defense coming out of the gate like gangbusters, trying to trap and contain Jaron Hall as much as they can.
2nd and 14, shotgun set. Man goes in motion across the field. They're going to get it here. Here comes the sweep. It's Casper on the sweep, and he's going to get out across the 27-yard line before he's brought down, getting back close to around the original line of scrimmage, but it's still going to set up a third, about a 10, maybe 11 coming up for Maple Mountain.
And again, we see Spanish Fork really bringing the pressure hard on the line, stretching Casper out to the far side, and now it forces Maple Mountain into the corner with a 3rd and long.
3rd down and 10. Golden Eagles need the 39-yard line to convert a 1st down. Man in motion across the field. Hall's 3-step drop. He's going to throw. Has plenty of time. Now going to be pressured. Going to have to go down the field. He's got a man out there. Need to put enough on it. He did. It's caught. It's inside the 15 down to about the 12-yard line. That's complete to Dawson Butler, who gets down to about the 8-yard line. It's 1st and goal, Maple Mountain. And Brandon, here comes one of those swings we talked about. Big plays all throughout this game.
Jaron Hall has been the king of big plays for Maple Mountain so far this year. We take another look at this. Very reminiscent of Tanner Mangum, where you give him time and especially make him roll out. Jaron Hall, I think some of the best passes I've seen him make have been on the run. And again, just a dime to Dawson Butler down the field on a huge 3rd down conversion.
1st and goal coming up here from the 8-yard line. Hall will be under center I formation. They're going to give it right up the middle. Here's the fullback on the carry. And that was number 33. That was Jared King for Maple Mountain.
That's a good safe play call. He falls forward to get a gain of 2 yards. But again, the key for Maple Mountain, if they want to do things in this ball game, centers around their quarterback, Jaron Hall. They need to get him making plays. When he makes plays, this team is successful.
2nd down and 8 to go. So 2nd and goal from the 8, I should say. 3-0 Spanish Fork lead early on. I formation set once again. James Wilson. Sorry, that wasn't Wilson. That was Austin Bingham going in motion for Maple Mountain. I formation set. Here's the pitch outside to Harrison Casper. He's going to lower his head, but he's going to be met at the line of scrimmage. Landon Jensen, Salofa Funa getting there. And they just hit him right about the time he got to the line of scrimmage.
Looked like almost the same play that happened down here in Maple Mountain territory before Hall threw that long pass to Butler. Again, they tried to pitch on the outside to Casper. Casper, he doesn't have the speed quick enough to get up the field, and those big beasts up front stretched him outside.
3rd down and goal coming from Maple Mountain. 4 receivers set here on the play. James Wilson to the bottom of your screen. Hall rolls out to the right. He's going to look. He's still looking. Double clutches, throws it up, and it's incomplete as it goes out of the back of the end zone, bringing up a 4th down. And kind of one of those plays where Hall didn't really have much. You could force it and take the chance of the interception, but there he makes the smart decision, throws it to the back of the end zone where nobody's going to get it.
Very solid defense from Spanish Fork. We call that a coverage sack. Like you said, they had nowhere to throw the ball and nowhere to run with the ball, and so he made a smart decision to throw it in the vicinity of his receiver, but luckily his receiver was out of bounds, avoiding any sort of turnover whatsoever.
Very talented kicker Tanner Dayton to come on a couple weeks ago, named like National Kicker of the Week here from Maple Mountain High School, on for the field goal. Austin Edwards to hold. Here's the snap. The kick is up, and it's high enough. Question is, did it go through? And it didn't. He missed it. Pushed it to the right. And that was kind of one of those situations, Brandon, you had an opportunity to tie the ball game, and you have a trusty kicker in Tanner Dayton, but Dayton just couldn't convert.
Just one of those things. You pushed it right. He tried to get a little too much loft on it instead of really just trying to boot it and stick to his guns. And just one of those things. He's still learning the tricks of the trade, and I have a feeling that we're not going to see – that's not the last that we're going to see of Tanner Dayton tonight.
So Spanish Fork has gotten off, as we talked about in the pregame show, Spanish Fork has done a great job getting off to quick starts. But now we'll see here what the Dons can do. Leading 3-0. If this is the first time we're really going to see this offense for Spanish Fork tonight, where they're not going to be maybe in that goal line formations. This is the first time we're going to see Spanish Fork spread it out. And they have a lot of talent and a lot of guys who can go downfield for targets.
Yeah, the last time we saw the Spanish Fork offense, they were in the goal line formations. And it'll be interesting to see how Coach Burtonshaw's squad on the defense fares with Kiesel and the Dons with plenty of room.
Brooks Ringer late getting out on the field. He now comes in. Nate Kiesel going to be kind of in the pistol formation with Salofa Funa in the backfield. 3-step drop, going to throw, going to try to get it out. That one looks like tipped at the line of scrimmage as he tried to get it out there to Isaac Pendleton.
Tightly covered by Colby Smith. That was a very risky ball for Kiesel. If he tries to throw that to the near side of his intended receiver, Colby Smith had a good jump on that, and that could have been very likely intercepted. But he tried to go with the safe route throw on the outside, put it where his receiver could catch it. Just unfortunately a little too much.
2nd down and 10. Ball sits on the 20-yard line for Spanish Fork. Isaac Pendleton to the bottom of your screen. Looks like Jackson Higginson split to the top. Shotgun set. Kiesel going to turn. Going to give it right up the middle here on 1st down. Plowing ahead and getting a couple there. It was Mace Funa, number 18. Haven't seen him get a ton of carries so far this year, but he's been playing more and more in the backfield. Watch for him to come in at times, maybe as a fullback, as a blocking back for Salofa Funa.
Jarrett Boyer making a solid stop on the defensive front for Maple Mountain, making sure Funa couldn't go anywhere, and sets up a big 3rd down and 10 for Kiesel.
Ready to go, 3rd and 10. 2 receivers for Spanish Fork. Dons need the 30-yard line to convert this 1st down. Maple Mountain playing a little maybe soft on the edges. 3-step drop. Kiesel steps up. Now he's going to be pressured. Gets away from one. Gets to the 25. Can he get the 30? He's going to come about a yard short. He just got hit hard there at the end. Just kind of gets shoved down to the ground. A great tackle, but most importantly, just about a yard or two short of the marker.
Yeah, Kiesel, like Jaron Hall, has a very crafty ability to get away from tackles and to make plays happen. And it was a 3rd and long, and unfortunately he only got 8 on that play. But we can see just a small glimpse of the running ability that we have from Nate Kiesel.
It's going to be Dawson Butler going back deep for Maple Mountain. He had a punt return for a touchdown a few weeks ago as Way Stanton puts a foot into it, a kind of a high end-over-end kick. And it's going to take a bounce at around the 45 and roll. And it's going to finally roll dead at around the 36-yard line for Maple Mountain. So not bad field position here if you're the Golden Eagles to open up this next drive. And a great opportunity here for the Golden Eagles to try to get something going offensively.
They need to get points on the board. They need to have a sustained drive. They had a great drive last time they had the ball. And we had a beautiful play from Jaron Hall to Dawson Butler down the field. But we need to see some constant nickel and diamond, if you will. We need some little 5-yard outs here, some hitches, and we need to just get this offense in momentum, some sort of momentum for them really to put some points on the board.
1st and 10 coming here for the Golden Eagles. Thanks for joining us here on a Friday night. 3-0 Spanish Fort as the first give goes right up the middle and going nowhere. It looks to be, and that was Harrison Casper again on the carry for Maple Mountain. So 2nd down and 10 coming up here after a gain. It looks like he's going to, in fact, even lose a yard on that one. Bring up a 2nd down and 11.
Lost a yard, 2nd and 11.
4:30 clock running, first quarter. 3-0 Spanish Fork. Shotgun set coming for Jaron Hall. 2 receivers to the bottom of his screen. Watch for James Wilson. Matched up against Tanner Argyle. They're going to throw the slant. That's complete. They're out of the backfield, making the catch, and kind of plowing ahead was Harrison Casper. He's going to get a couple, but maybe actually gain him about 5 or 6. Argyle in there on the stop for Spanish Fork.
I think that might be a little bit of a generous spot. We see the officials discussing this, but Harrison Casper, he's a gritty player. As we see, there was a flag thrown, personal foul against Spanish Fork, and Maple Mountain will take those all day long.
And that's kind of the mental game that we talked about last week on the broadcast for Spanish Fork in that game against Springville. A lot of offensive offside penalties, just a lot of penalties that really, when you take a look at it for Spanish Fork and Springville, kind of made it for a tough night. And you can't give your opponents a lot of help when you're going to go down the field. This offense for Maple Mountain is as talented as they are. They don't really need much help from your defense.
No, but anything else.
1st down and 10, ball in the Spanish Fork 45-yard line. Twins to the top of your screen. Hall, 3-step drop. Steps up, has some time. He's looking for a shot. He's looking for the home run down the sideline. That batted away, and it comes down at the last second. Looking for Dawson Butler. Butler went for it, had it in his hands, but it came out at the last second, and it was incomplete.
That was a lovely ball from Jaron Hall. A lot of touch on this thing as we take a look at it here. He has all day to throw, steps up into the pocket. He could have stepped up in the pocket just a little bit more, but as we see, Dawson Butler, full extension, just barely flops out of his arms. That would have been a catch for the highlight reel for sure.
2nd and 10 coming up for Maple Mountain. The Golden Eagles are going to look to go downfield tonight, try to open up this playbook. Hall steps up with some time. He's got a great pocket built up. Now he's have to run. And here comes the run at the 40. Hall with it, cuts out of bounds around the 37-yard line. A flag coming in, though, right around the 40-yard line. And where that flag came in, you would think probably going to be a hold. But we'll wait and see here exactly what the official calls.
I think it actually might go against James Wilson, who tried to set a block for Jaron Hall. Maybe he might have used his shoulder just a little too high for the referee's liking. As we see, the officials are discussing this, but that happened right about the 40-yard line. And so it'll be interesting to see if that is indeed, because that will detract, again, another solid Jaron Hall run.
And Maple Mountain not backing up yet as we wait for the official call. Both teams kind of a lot of discussion coming from the officials here. Now we'll wait here, and it looks like it's going to be personal foul against Maple Mountain. And so that's going to, looks like,
Personal foul against Maple Mountain.
Going to move it back. And
as we take a look at it here, see if we can see, look towards the bottom of your screen here. James Wilson throws that shoulder very high, and I think that's what the play was just, that's what the penalty was just called.
Definitely kind of interesting. We talked about the emotion of this game. It's your crosstown rival. Brandon, I love how you said, you're playing against your friends. These guys, we saw when the captains were out, they were all hugging each other, saying good luck, I'm sure. But there's definitely a lot of pride here that you want to win this game. You don't want to sit there and be the one to have to say for the next year, we beat you, and you see them around town and things like that. You don't want to be the team that lost.
No doubt.
2nd down and about 15 here as Hall rolls out. Plenty of time looking for the home run again. He's got a man out there that looks to be Butler. And in and out of the hands. Dawson Butler once again. He got open deep. And he's getting a step there on Bryce Larson for Spanish Fork, and he's got it 2 or 3 times. Eventually, you would think they're gonna connect on that sometime.
You'd think so. I mean, yes, you want to complete these passes, but I like these plays that I'm seeing from Maple Mountain. I like it how they're taking shots. The receivers are getting open. They're burning their man after the first step, and they're going deep. As you look, Jaron Hall has all day to throw. Dawson Butler beats the DB by 2 or 3 steps. I like what I see if I'm the offensive coordinator. So be very encouraged, Maple Mountain fans, and also be very happy for Spanish Fork that these receivers aren't catching the ball.
Emu Apui, the man in coverage on that one, and whistles blow here, and we're going to, I don't see any penalty markers in. Now we're going to have a conversation here. It looks like, I think they were trying to adjust something with Dawson Butler, and Butler now will come off will head over towards the sideline. I think they're trying to say maybe something with his helmet or something wasn't on properly, as Cameron AC will come running in here for Maple Mountain.
An equipment malfunction.
3rd down and 19, ball on the 46-yard line. Maple Mountain needs the 35-yard line of Spanish Fork to move the chains here. That penalty definitely killing this drive for Maple Mountain. Hall rolls out. He's going to be pressured this time. He's going to try to get out. He's being chased by 3 guys in the backfield. He jumps, throws, flag comes in, and he looks like his arm was in forward motion. Jaron Hall very lucky there. Probably one where he should just held on to the football, but he was able to get the incomplete off, but there's a flag down, and we'll see what the call and who that call is going to go against.
I think it was still in the pocket.
So that would be interesting, because then that would be intentional grounding likely.
It would be very interesting to see if that is indeed what they call, but I don't think he ever went outside the tackle box to qualify that or not, but they're bringing the ball back up, and it looks like it's going to be good against Spanish Fork. So luckily for Maple Mountain, that scramble is negated.
A personal foul penalty is going to now move that football up. And so instead of potentially being a 4th down and about 35 coming up, you're going to be, I believe they'll replay that down there as you see. And the flag comes in right, it looks like, as Way Stanton, it looks like just kind of maybe shoved a Maple Mountain player.
Stanton just got caught in no man's land when the guy he's trying to get around just jumps in midair, and there's nothing really you can do but make contact with him. But unfortunately, when you do, that is a penalty.
3rd down and 4, ball sits on the 39-yard line. Maple Mountain looking for that 35-yard line. So instead of 3rd and about 13, you're in a 3rd and 4 coming up here. 3:26 to go, first quarter. 3-0 Spanish Fork. Hall, 3-step drop, has some time. He's looking for the shot again. Going down for James Wilson. He got it. Touchdown, Maple Mountain. Devin Argyle got beat there at one-on-one coverage, and we talked about it, Brandon. Eventually, they're going to hit on those deep balls.
Like I said, if you're Maple Mountain, be encouraged, and I like what I see. The deep ball, it hasn't connected early on, but you saw right there, Jaron Hall to James Wilson, the money combo we've been seeing all year, 1 to 10. James Wilson just continues to run, and another beautiful throw by Jaron Hall. All James Wilson had to do was just turn around and catch the ball. Just solid execution for Maple Mountain.
Ready to go, Tanner Dayton on for the PAT. And it looks like Spanish Fork, somebody jumped here. We'll see whether that's going to be against, who that's going to be. Spanish Fork immediately pointing Maple Mountain. And we'll get the dead ball offsides against Spanish Fork.
It's offsides against Spanish Fork.
So we'll get another attempt coming in. Austin Edwards to hold for Maple Mountain. Now we see to still have some deliberations between the officials as to the call here. Offside, Spanish Fork, penalty declined. And we'll try here the PAT. Dayton ready to go. Austin Edwards once again to hold for Maple Mountain. The Golden Eagles connecting on a haul to James Wilson touchdown. The extra point is up. It looks good. Plenty of distance, and it's good. And with 3:19 to go in the first quarter, it's Maple Mountain 7, Spanish Fork 3. As you're watching high school football here on the Spanish Fork Community Network, and a great drive for Maple Mountain. They're able to go down the field once again. That big play able to aid Maple Mountain there for the score.
Jaron Hall to James Wilson all season long has been a deadly combination. And Dawson Butler was burning defenders, and so you thought maybe he might go back to Dawson Butler, try for some redemption, but instead he switches sides and goes back to the other threat in James Wilson, and James Wilson connects with Hall. And now we have a 4-point ball game with the Golden Eagles taking an early lead.
With 3:19 to go, let's quickly take a moment here to thank our sponsors for help making this broadcast possible. Let's thank the Car Guys for the Car Guys Instant Replay. We want to thank MVP Sports for the MVP of the game, which will be named at the conclusion of the broadcast. We also want to thank Lance Wilson State Farm for their great assist of the game, to Jack's Pizza, Triple T, and also Spanish Fork Community Network for making this broadcast possible, and our entire team here at Spanish Fork here at Maple Mountain High School. As Tanner Dayton puts a foot into it from the 40-yard line. This one's going to go deep. Leo Saili is going to take it, but he'll step out of the back of the end zone, and the Dons will start on the 20-yard line.
I guess you could say so far, Jaron Hall to James Wilson has been the great assist of the game. Just another awesome pass to James Wilson. And let's see if Nate Kiesel and the Spanish Fork Dons can answer.
Yeah, this is something that we could see whether this game's going to become a battle of defenses or it's going to be this back and forth big play affair. In the past, this has typically been a high-scoring back and forth kind of a matchup. As Spanish Fork breaks the huddle here, they're going to send their back in motion. That's Salofa Funa. He's going to get the carry on first down. Makes the man miss out across the 25 to the 30-yard line. 35-40. He's going to be brought down finally at around the 48-yard line. Salofa Funa hasn't had a ton of big runs this year, but he's definitely a big back, and you can see it took about 3 or 4 Golden Eagles to bring him down.
That is a very impressive run. As you see, he has the moves. He shakes some defenders out of their shoes, then cuts it to the outside, and then he's not afraid of contact. He lowers his shoulder and puts his body into the defender, and with that momentum going forward, he gets himself 2-3 more yards. Very impressive run.
Peyton Pond, one of the first Golden Eagles there to hit him, and then he just kind of slowed him up for the next 3 to jump on board. 1st and 10, ball on the 47-yard line. Kiesel from the shotgun. Again, they're going to give it right up the middle. This time it's landed Jensen on the carry. Jensen's going to push his way across midfield to the 49-yard line. He's going to get about maybe 4, maybe 5 yards on the carry, set up a 2nd and 5. And you think of it, Brandon, if you can pick up through that run game 4 or 5 yards to carry, it's really going to open up that pass game, make that Maple Mountain secondary creep up, and then you open up that big playability that Spanish Fork has.
Not only is it going to open up the secondary, but keep pounding 4 yards at a time up the gut. It's going to wear out that Maple Mountain defensive front.
2nd down and 6, ball on the Maple Mountain 49-yard line. Landon Jensen the back once again. Kiesel steps back. He's got some time, steps up now, whistles fly. And we'll see here. I don't see any flags. But
I think we're going to have a false start on Tanner Parker for Spanish Fork. The tackle to the far side. He got a little happy feet. He knew that was going to be a pass play and got a little too excited.
So that's going to bring up 2nd down and 11 coming up here. So you pretty much negate that 1st down run by Landon Jensen, and now it brings up the 2nd and 11. Matchup to watch, definitely at the bottom of your screen. Here's the give right up the middle. Kiesel's going to try to keep it. He's going to get outside of the 50-yard line, lowers his head at around the 49-yard line. So picking up once again about those 5 yards to make it a manageable 3rd and about 6. And not exactly what you want to be in the 3rd and 6 situation, but really in that 2nd and 11 situation, you'll take 4 or 5 yards to bring it to about a 3rd and 6.
And just like you said, Ryan, earlier, they're going to be using different looks and different run styles to kind of set up that pass, the pass play later on in the ballgame and open up that secondary. You got to keep your defense honest. Always try to have a couple runs just to make sure that you can use that pass play.
Nate Kiesel coming up here. He's got 3 wide receivers. Salofa Funa looks to be back in the backfield. He's going to be in there for pass protection. Stepping up, Kiesel's going to keep it. 45, slides down around the 41-yard line. That will be enough for a Spanish Fork 1st down. And Nate Kiesel, for one of the first times we've seen him this year, willing to take the slide and not take the hit, lower his shoulder, and it's a Spanish Fork 1st down.
Well, he's learned from many quarterbacks that have gotten injured before him, and it's a very wise move, especially in a rivalry game like this. They can't afford to lose anybody as important as Kiesel.
First to 10, ball on the 41-yard line. Jackson Higginson to the bottom of your screen. Up to the top is Isaac Pendleton, number 7. Again, the give right up the middle. Solo Fafuna to the 36-yard line. Stretches forward and is able to maybe get the 36-yard line, and they'll give him the 36 for a gain of about 5.
Funa, I like what I see with Funa. He's a big, solid physical back with agility. And he puts a hand on the defender's helmet right there and glances by, and he just barely goes down with the shoestring tackle. That was Corey Rokovitz bringing Funa down. But I like what I see so far from that big, explosive back.
2nd and 5, ball on the 36-yard line. Maple Mountain's going to have the 2 safeties play at about the 25-yard line. Kiesel once again going to give it right up the middle. Lowering the shoulder, trying to get to around the 34-yard line. Ball comes free. Mace Funa fumbled it, but it looks like they're going to blow it dead before that ball came out.
Well, I think that might be the last play of the first quarter, and Spanish Fork is going to escape with one there. They got bailed out by the referee, but I think they blew an early whistle. That was a very tough, very close call. But, hey, Spanish Fork will take it, and we're going to end the quarter, and they're still driving, and they're only down by 4.
At the end of the first quarter here from Maple Mountain High School, it's the Golden Eagles 7, the Spanish Fork Dons 3. You're watching high school football here on the Spanish Fork Community Network.
Need a new car or truck? The Car Guys has the best selection of used vehicles at the best prices in Spanish Fork. The Car Guys know their automobiles to get you the best car for your needs and your budget. The Car Guys at 872 North Main in Spanish Fork.
In Spanish Fork, see your good neighbor State Farm agent Lance Wilson for your insurance and financial needs.
Back here on the Spanish Fork Community Network, starting the second quarter here at Maple Mountain High School. We have a 7-3 lead for the Maple Mountain Golden Eagles. The winner of this, number 2 in the region right now, and hoping to try to see if they can stay that way. Both of these schools down the stretch have a very favorable schedule the rest of the way through region. So this is kind of both the teams' kind of final last big game before the rest of their region play.
Both teams looking very good so far tonight.
3rd down and 3 coming up here for Spanish Fork. Kiesel takes the direct snap. He's going to step through with some agility, jumps back. There's a flag. Kiesel breaks free. He's going to go in. Touchdown Spanish Fork, but we'll wait because there's a flag back to the 32. This one could be coming back for the Dons.
Well, Kiesel showing off some athleticism, shaking and baking defenders, leaving him in the backfield, and showing off a little strength, too. Stiff arming that defender before he goes in the end zone, but it's going to come back.
Offsides penalty against Spanish Fork. And so definitely one of those plays where instead of a 3rd and 3, or chop block, against Spanish Fork, and that's going to bring up a 3rd and about 8 here for Spanish Fork. So you negate the touchdown. That's not what you want if you're Spanish Fork, as we see Nate Kiesel on the Car Guys instant replay. Makes a couple of men just miss, and then it's just a foot race to the end zone.
Yeah, it's a shame. It's a shame that block had to be a chop block to free Kiesel, because that was a wonderful run. Just pure athleticism, all athleticism on Kiesel's part.
And now they're moving it back all the way to the 49-yard line. And so now Spanish Fork can have to take their shot down the field. The Dons need the 31, maybe the 32-yard line for a first down. 17 yards to go here on this 3rd down. 4 wide receivers here for the Dons. Kiesel steps back. He's got some time. Steps up. Now going to have to just kind of shot puts it out there towards Jackson Higginson. And the pass goes incomplete, bringing up a 4th down. And once again, Brandon, a penalty comes back to be a drive killer for Spanish Fork.
Yeah, Jared Blanton was in the backfield pressuring Kiesel to throw the football, and really he had nowhere to throw the football. And by the time he was able to release the ball, Blanton was right there to hit him as he threw it. And penalties, just like we talked about, the fundamentals. If you do the fundamentals, if you do the simple things, you won't put yourself in situations like this.
Way Stanton to come into punt for Spanish Fork. He's had a couple of fakes this year. as he kind of has a rugby-style punt, and that one's going to go kind of deep over towards the corner. Coming up to receive, it's Dawson Butler across the 15, down the sidelines to the 20. He's going to be still on his feet, knocked out of bounds around the 32. I thought he got knocked out earlier, but able to tiptoe along that sideline. Dawson Butler showing some good footwork.
Dawson Butler going a little ballerina style, tiptoeing down that sideline, but he has ample time to catch the ball, catches it about the 12, does a little dance, and right here is where he tiptoes, stays in bounds, and is able to get another 7 to 8 yards on that play. And some favorable position for Maple Mountain and Jaron Hall to get back to work.
The Golden Eagles connecting on a Hall to Wilson touchdown, their last possession, to take a 7-3 lead here on homecoming week here at Maple Mountain. Stands are packed, the student section packed all the way in, and it's settling in to be a good rest of this ball game as Jaron Hall is going to take the quarterback keeper right up the middle. He's going to make a man miss, still on his feet, and he's going to be ushered down to the ground. Devin Argyle, Landon Jensen, Bryce Larson in on the stop for Spanish Fork. And Jaron Hall showing not just does he have the speed, but he can run with some power right there.
Exactly. Jaron Hall, he might look like a finesse type runner, almost like Colin Kaepernick, but he lowers his shoulder and continues to drive his legs, showing that he's not going to go down that easy. That was pretty impressive from Jaron Hall.
2nd down and 7 coming up here for Maple Mountain. Single back step, 4 wide receivers. Now you look over to the sideline. Dawson Butler to the bottom of your screen. James Wilson to the top. Casper goes in motion. He's going to get this call on the sweep. He gets to 35, lowers his shoulder, and gets to around the 37, maybe the 38-yard line. So a gain of about 3 on the play. Brings up a 3rd and a manageable about 4.
And it looks like they're going for the ground and pound technique here, trying to draw the defenders into a different motion, bringing the men in motion to the sweep on the far side. And a very interesting play call if you're Coach Burtonshaw right now on 3rd and 4.
Tanner Argyle to the bottom of your screen going up against Dawson Butler. 3-step drop, pass up top. Going to throw it out of the backfield. That's complete. That's Austin Edwards across midfield. He's got to be brought down. A hard tackle there by Tanner Argyle, and that's going to be 1st down Maple Mountain. Golden Eagles go with a very safe call, just bring Austin Edwards out. And he was wide open. He had plenty of room to run.
There was nobody in the vicinity, and that can be a very dangerous throw, a throw that oftentimes quarterbacks might overthrow. Jaron Hall putting some nice touch on it, making sure Edwards is able to catch it and get upfield.
1st down and 10, ball on the 47-yard line. Maple Mountain driving once again. Here's Harrison Casper again on the carry. He's going to get a couple to around the 45-yard line. And that's going to bring up a 2nd and about 8 after the gain of 2.
Harrison Casper just got gang tackled, really had nowhere to go, and all that work just for one long yard. Harrison Casper, though he be but little, he is fierce.
2nd and 9 coming up, officially a gain of about a yard. Clock running, 9:13 to go before halftime here at Maple Mountain. Coming up at halftime, Ken Money, Sam Higginson. We'll also check in with Freddie Woods along the sidelines. 2nd and 9. Hall rolls out. He's going to try to keep it. And he's going to gain about, he's going to end up getting around 5 after he gets hit. It just kind of carries him forward. So if you're going to get hit, you might as well go forward and get those extra yards.
And again, another key to Jaron Hall's success, running the football, and not always with the big runs, but just right there, what we saw, always keeping your feet moving. Because whenever you're going down, you're getting hit, and you keep your feet moving, that momentum is going to carry you forward. And like we saw, he got another 2-3 yards out of it.
3rd and 5 coming up. Maple Mountain driving. Looking to try to convert. Last time they sent Austin Edwards just kind of out of the backfield. And they just dropped it off to him. We'll see what comes here on this 3rd down and 5. Trips to the bottom of your screen for the Golden Eagles. Hall from shotgun. He's going to take the snap. He's going to throw. Has some time. Steps up. Has all day going deep into coverage. Oh, it's caught by out of the hands of Dawson Butler. He went up and had it as he hits his fist against the ground. He knew he had that one in his hands. Just as he came down, just couldn't quite haul it in.
Boy, Dawson Butler, you got your heart kind of goes out to him so far here in this first half. He's had plenty of balls ready to be big plays, and this one he was able to get his body in perfect position to catch it, and you can tell he knows exactly how he should have caught that ball. But I like seeing Jaron Hall keep going back to Dawson Butler. just to let them know, hey, we still got you, buddy. You're still there.
Dawson Butler looks like back to punt for Maple Mountain. Stanton and Tanner Argyle back deep for the Dons. High snap. They're going to get it down. Funa's coming, but he's going to get the punt away, and that one's going to go down. It's going to take a Maple Mountain roll and head towards the sidelines, and it'll be officially ruled around the 17-yard line. They're going to still mark that one off. About the 13-yard line officially. So an opportunity here for Spanish Fork. That defense really holding the Dons in the ball game. Spanish Fork's gotten lucky on a couple of them. Maple Mountain's made some great plays, but now this offense for Spanish Fork has to capitalize.
They do. The Spanish Fork offense hasn't been on the field as much as they would like to. The percentages are very skewed right now. Maple Mountain is dominating the possession right now. Anytime the offense has the ball for Maple Mountain, they just eat up that clock. So it's time for Kiesel to do some magic here on the offensive side.
Landon Jensen the back next to Kiesel. He's going to take the keeper. Try to get the corner. He's going to duck inside. Ducks outside around the 20. He gets hit hard out of bounds. As coming up was Jonathan Elmore to make the stop. But Kiesel able to get enough for a first down. And Spanish Fork has done a little bit better this year when they've been able to find a way to get going kind of in tempo. They've had a hard time. In fact, he's not going to get the first down. He's going to get about 9 on the play.
That's a decent first play pickup for a drive of 9 yards. But again, Kiesel, he's going to take the ball into his own hands, and he's going to make plays by himself if he feels like that is necessary.
2nd and 1, 7:56 to go before halftime. They're going to give it right up the middle. Here's Landon Jensen trying to power his way towards the marker. And Jensen's going to be close. It looks like he got enough for the first down. And that will be a first down for Spanish Fork.
Just a big bruiser for the short down situations. And he definitely did what he had to do. Lowered his shoulder, kept his feet going, and plowed enough forward just to get that first down, which is all the coaches wanted.
Jordan Larson able to get in there on the tackle for Maple Mountain. And it's going to be 1st and 10 coming up here for the Dons. Kiesel at times this year has been able to be electric with the feet, make a lot of plays happen. We'll see what he has coming here. 1st and 25. Kiesel steps up. He's going for the home run ball. Down the sideline looking. That ball is going to be intercepted. Underthrew Isaac Pendleton, and Jonathan Elmore able to get there for the interception. And now a big play for Maple Mountain. Swings the momentum to the Maple Mountain sideline.
John Elmore, what a great heads-up play. He's with the receiver every step of the way, turns his head on a swivel, and has the aptitude to grab the ball and bring it down. Heads-up ball playing for Jonathan Elmore, and just going back to Kiesel, he had his receiver, he had the man beat. He just a little bit underthrown.
So puts maybe a couple of more yards on that. That's a completion, but allows Elmore just enough time to just kind of pin up, kind of like a post would in basketball, and just kind of beat the receiver to the spot. And that will be a Lance Wilson assist here of the quarter going to Jonathan Elmore. As Maple Mountain looks to try to see if they can't try to build on their lead here. Whistles blow, and Maple Mountain looks to be moving back here. We're going to have dead ball false start against Maple Mountain. Crosstown rivalry, of course, here on Spanish Fork 17 tonight. It's Spanish Fork making the trek across town to take on the Maple Mountain Golden Eagles. The sun has set behind the mountains here in Spanish Fork, and now the lights have come on, and it's officially Friday night football here on Spanish Fork 17. 1st and 15 coming here for Maple Mountain. Hall, 3-step drop, going to throw over the middle. That's going to be incomplete, looking for James Wilson.
Yeah, Jaron Hall had James Wilson on that out route, but he just underthrew him just a little too much and skipped it into Wilson. Wilson made an acrobatic effort at it, try to scoop it up off the ground. To take a look at this instant replay from the car guys, and looks like Jaron Hall kind of got back into his baseball days there, throwing off of his back foot like a lazy shortstop would.
Jaron Hall steps back to pass, has some time. Now he's going to have to pull it down and run. He's going to make a man miss across the 25 to the 30. He's going to get out of bounds at around the 35-yard line. A couple of Dons, Bryce Larson pointing down and saying, no, this is where he went out of bounds. Trying to make sure that Hall doesn't get any extra yards for the Golden Eagles.
He's crafty. Jaron Hall, he can, if you give him 1 yard, he can make you miss, and he'll take 5 out of it from you. Very shifty moves from the quarterback.
Hall, of course, starting point guard on the Maple Mountain basketball team, and who will try to build off of their great season last year, coming up in a couple of months from now. And then in the spring, we'll go over to the baseball field right behind us here at Maple Mountain High School. 3rd down and 3 coming up. Hall going to throw it out there on the screen pass. Here's Casper across the 40. He's going to get out. Sorry, that's Austin Edwards out across the 45 to around the 47-yard lines. And once again, we've kind of seen when they just bring Edwards out of the backfield, he's got plenty of room to run.
When they keep running the ball and then going deep, they forget about these little out pounces here. As we see Edwards, he catches that ball and turns on the Jets and goes upfield for the first down.
Kind of an extension of the run play. Here's Hall on the keeper now. He's at the 45-40, puts on the wheels down the sideline. One man to beat, and a touchdown-saving tackle landed. Jensen tackling Jaron Hall hard out of bounds, but it's 1st and goal. And it looks like we have a flag down.
Jaron Hall and the Maple Mountain offense saw Spanish Fork have too many players on the field, not able to substitute their man off of the field, and they snapped the ball just in time. And so that was pretty much a free play for Maple Mountain. And the referees are discussing it, but right as that play was snapped, Spanish Fork had a man running off of the sidelines to the far side.
That could be an illegal substitution, which I would imagine Maple Mountain's going to decline the penalty because they would want that run from Hall, but looks like at first a couple Spanish Fork players right there waiting to hear, and we'll wait here for the official call with 6:51 to go before half. And now Maple Mountain looks to be moving backwards. Illegal substitution and illegal motion or a shift against Maple Mountain, it looks like. So offsetting penalties, it sounds like, and that's going to move everything back.
Illegal motion against Maple Mountain.
As we take a look here, Jaron Hall just keeps it, does it himself, points his blockers, and churns on the Jets and almost takes out one of our camera guys. Freddie Woods trying to be the protector down there. We see you working down there, Freddie. But Jaron Hall, a lot of exercise, and just to warm up those legs, I guess, because it's all coming back.
And that's a huge penalty because that negates a big run. I mean, I guess you're really lucky there if you're Spanish Fork that you had the extra guy on the field there in a sense, but he was able to offset, or I guess should be luckily Maple Mountain to have the motion if you're Spanish Fork. But now it's 1st and 10 for the 47. 3-step drop. Has some time. Hall looking deep. He throws it up. He's got a man down there. Wilson goes for it, and that one a diving attempt, but he couldn't quite come up with it as he beat Bryce Larson down the field. That pass was incomplete.
Well, Jaron Hall sat in the pocket for a long time. Give credit to his offensive line for giving him time to throw this. He was under pressure and gets hit right as just after he throws it. James Wilson looking, and it looks like his feet just kind of gave out from underneath him. He was looking for the ball. He was on pace to catch that, but his feet just slipped out at the last second, and he came up short.
2nd and 10, 4 wide receivers for Maple Mountain. Ready to go. They're going to give it right up the middle. Lowering his shoulders, Harrison Casper. And Casper's going to get to about the 47-yard line of Maple Mountain. In fact, sorry, that's Brad King on the carry. And that's going to bring up 3rd down and about 4. So another manageable 3rd down. We'll see if we see kind of that extension of the run game that we've seen the last couple of 3rd and shorts for Maple Mountain.
Not only we could see a run game, or we could see Edwards trying to sneak out of the backfield again on a little swing pass. But nevertheless, either way, it's a big play for Maple Mountain here on 3rd and 4.
Right here it looks like cameras being flashed across the field between the two student sections. 3rd and 4, the give on the middle. Hall going to keep it, throws it out there up over the head of Austin Edwards, and it was a backwards pass, but it goes out of bounds, so brings up 4th down. Maple Mountain's going to lose about 6, though.
That was a play Jaron Hall probably could have kept and turned upfield to maybe get some yardage. There were defenders that knew that play was coming, and they jumped and gave him a tall tree to throw over, if you will, and just too much, and Austin Edwards couldn't come up with it.
So it's going to be 4th down and 10. Dawson Butler back to punt. He'll put a foot into it around the 30-yard line. It's Argyle and Way Stanton standing back at about their own 16-yard line, ready to receive the punt. Here's the snap, low snap. Butler going to get a foot into it. It's got a short kick getting away from it as the ball bounces to 32. It's going to go out of bounds right around the 30-yard line. So if you're Spanish Fork here, Brandon, you're going to have a really good field position here to start this drive here in the second quarter.
They got about 5 minutes and 45 seconds left here in this first half, and they need to capitalize, Ryan. They need to get a good, solid drive going. Anytime Spanish Fork tries to get something going, it seems they get negated and they shoot themselves in the foot with penalties. So I want to see Kiesel really nickel and dime the Maple Mountain defense here. Little 5-yard outs here and maybe try to run it himself. But I look to see Spanish Fork make a statement here on offense on this drive.
And it's definitely a situation to kind of keep an eye on because we've seen Kiesel show off that great arm even on the interception. We know he can go down the field if he needs to. 1st and 10, ball on the 30-yard line. The give goes right up the middle, and immediately getting in there was, I believe that was Boyer, number 53. Yeah, Jarrett Boyer getting in there immediately as Sam Heredia grabs that ball, and he just met Sam Heredia for the first time in the backfield.
Jarrett Boyer, that was a Troy Polamalu-esque. He just jumped the line of scrimmage there and was in the backfield before Kiesel could even barely turn around to hand the ball off.
So it's going to be 2nd down and 12 coming up here, and this is a big drive because we've seen Maple Mountain really use some clock. If you don't able to get a score, a quick turnover, who knows how much time you might have before halftime. That pass incomplete, in and out of the hands of Isaac Pendleton. And the pass going to go 3rd and 12. And this has been kind of the thing we've seen with Nate Kiesel at times this year for Spanish Fork, is he's just had a hard time hitting those short kind of intermediate balls. He's been able to hit that deep ball majority of the time this year, but it's been those 7-yard routes to Pendleton and that, and you have to complete those when they're given to you.
When you have an opportunity, you got to take it. We talked about that earlier, Ryan. Capitalizing on turnovers and capitalizing on opportunities that are there, and you got to make those touch passes. That's what's making Jaron Hall so effective so far, hitting the swing passes out of the backfield for Maple Mountain.
3rd down and 12, 3 wide receivers coming on. Kiesel, 3-step drop, has some time. He steps up, now going to roll away. He's going to throw at the last second, looking for Jackson Higginson, just over the outstretched hands of Higginson. And that one goes incomplete and brings up a 4th down. Kiesel, once again, strong arm, just not able to hit Higginson.
Yeah, Kiesel showing off his athleticism, dancing around, dodging tackles in the pocket. His offensive line doing a good job, a decent job here, but he steps up in the pocket, has a presence of mind to find his receiver downfield, throws off his back foot, mind you, and still makes a 30, 40-yard throw in the air. Very solid throw, and great athleticism from Kiesel. So we see a flag on the field.
We'll see here. It's going to be personal foul against Spanish Fork.
Again, more penalties.
And so that's going to now, I believe, move that back. Well, it looks like Maple Mountain declined the penalty. So bring out 4th down, and Way Stanton will have to punt. He's standing back at his own about 11-yard line, and now they're going to move Spanish Fork back.
Well, Jaron Hall only needs about 5 seconds to score. And so he has plenty of time here. 4:57 left here in this first half. And again, Spanish Fork shooting themselves in the foot. And when they get the ball, they need to capitalize.
Sorry, illegal forward pass against the Dons. Way Stanton comes in, pressure comes, he gets the punt off. A good punch around the 45. Dawson Butler calls for the fair catch at the 46-yard line. And Maple Mountain with a very good field position. This is a golden opportunity for the Golden Eagles to try to see if they can't extend that lead heading into the halftime locker room.
Yeah, no pun intended there with the golden reference, but Jaron Hall, they need to get another score. They've had chances, and I want to see him go back to Dawson Butler. Dawson Butler right now, the script is setting up perfectly for him to have a redemption night. After the first half he's had, he's dropped some serious touchdown opportunities, and I want to see him make a big play here on this drive.
1st and 10, ball sitting at the Maple Mountain 46-yard line, and kind of, I don't want to say a jumbo set coming here, but they have the fullback in along with Harrison Casper coming up here on the play. Hall going to give it to Casper on 1st down, and he's going to lose about a half a yard. It looks like Trujillo, Jess Barkley getting up there on the tackle for Spanish Fork.
Yeah, they tried some little trickery and some misdirection in the backfield, but Spanish Fork and Barkley did not take the bait. They weren't hungry for that, and they sniffed it out and were able to tackle for a loss of 1.
2nd down and 11, ball on the 45-yard line. Spanish Fork with Argyle and Apui playing about 2 yards back behind the 1st down marker for Maple Mountain. Screen pass set up. Here's James Wilson trying to maneuver along the sideline. Gets to about the 50-yard line. Jess Barkley, who we found out in pregame is one of the leading tacklers for Spanish Fork, gets the stop right around the 50-yard line. That's going to bring up third and about 7.
Well, Barkley getting his name called 2 plays in a row, showing his athleticism and diversity as a defender as well. Seeing him get in the backfield, breaking through that line, and again, seeing him get that speed to get to the outside to track down Wilson. Very impressive from Barkley.
Maple Mountain not hurrying here with 3:40 to go before halftime. 3rd and 6. They're going to need about the 44, maybe the 43.5-yard line to move the chains. Hall steps back, screen pass set up, and that pass is going to go incomplete. And here comes a flag coming in late. We'll see here what the penalty is. And it's one of those things as a defensive lineman, when you're just let go right at the quarterback, you have to know, okay, we got to back off.
You got to know something's coming up, especially if you get to the quarterback so soon. We're going to see a legal receiver downfield, illegal touch, excuse me. And so Jaron Hall tried to, as you see, he tried to get a screen pass going here, but it ends up hitting the back of John Bishop's head, his helmet, and he wasn't paying attention. He was in front of the receiver, and so that is a no-no, and that is, of course, yellow laundry against Maple Mountain.
So that's going to move back to a 3rd and 12. Sorry, 4th and 12 here as they move him back. Dawson Butler back into punt, standing back at his own 29-yard line. We're going to see Stanton and Tanner Argyle back deep. Maple Mountain struggle with the snap. This one, they get it off pretty well. Going back, Stanton just kind of waves his hand up in the air, and the ball goes out of bounds here. And Spanish Fork will have good field position. So really, with how these offenses have played tonight, if you were to take the scoreboard off and try to tell me it's only a one-score game, both teams have only scored once, I would be really surprised. These offenses have gone up and down the field, neither one able to though convert and be able to get in the end zone.
No, very, very underwhelming from a coach's perspective, you could say, because of the potential points up on the board for both teams. You know, Kiesel underthrew a ball that ended up getting intercepted, and we've seen Maple Mountain drop several touchdown potential passes as well.
4 wide receivers, Braden Christensen, and here's Kiesel on the quarterback keeper. He's across the 30 to the 34-yard line. He's going to pick up around 4. They're going to give him 5 here, and it's going to bring up a 2nd and about 5 here with 3:06 to go before halftime.
Well, if you're Kiesel, you know, it helps that you're a taller guy, 6'3", so when you fall forward, you can get a couple extra yards, whereas somebody else wouldn't.
So 2:54, clock running. All 3 timeouts for both teams here to the final 3 minutes. 4 wide receivers. And Kiesel, 3-step drop, throws over the middle. That was complete to Braden Christensen. Christensen close to the marker. He might have gotten a favorable spot. I thought he was maybe a half a yard short, but
it looked to be a little bit short, but he got that favorable spot and a little bit of momentum now. That's a little bit of momentum for Springville and for Kiesel, and they have time. They have 2 minutes and 30 seconds and change to go down the field and put some points up on the board, maybe take a lead.
So 1st and 10, ball on the 40-yard line. 2:25, Spanish Fork not feeling hurried right now, not getting necessarily in that 2-minute offense with those timeouts to their name. 5 wide receivers, Kiesel all by himself, and he's going to go 3-step drop, looking over the middle. Got a man, that's complete. Brooks Ringer inside the 40, still on his feet to around the 38-yard line, and he's fighting his way back, and now flags come flying in, way back in from the secondary, and this is going to be interesting to see who this is going to go against. Both teams playing aggressive. You have to kind of like that as a coach, but you kind of have to know when to stop as a player as well.
And again, going back to rivalry week with both of these teams and the emotions playing high, we've seen penalties become because of these little personal conduct plays. And as a coach, it's very hard to reel in your team in games like this, but you got to keep your emotions intact. You don't want to give up more yards to a team that's driving on you already.
Yeah, this is going to be interesting to see, and it's going to go against Spanish Fork. I'm trying to see dead ball personal foul going against the Dons, as we'll now see here on the Car Guys instant replay exactly what will happen, as Brooks Ringer does a nice job, and then right there it comes in. It looks like, I'm trying to see who that was for Spanish Fork. I wanted to say 13, but they didn't have, I didn't see 13. I thought it was a 3 in there. It could have been Tanner Argyle who came in, and now we're going to, looks like, have our first time out of the half with 2:06. We'll see here if we can slow it down right at the end. It's going to be kind of hard to get, but it looks like Tanner Argyle comes in.
Right here in the middle of your screen.
We could stop it right there. It's 18. That's Mace Funa, it looks to be. Andy, if you could stop it, maybe roll forward just a little bit. Stop right there. That looks to be 18 to me. That looks to be Mace Funa. And, I mean, you have to understand, as a freshman, you know, you don't want to blame it on him being a freshman. But at the same time, maybe just getting a little amped up and things like that. And that's going to happen in a rivalry game. As a coach, are you okay with those kind of penalties compared to the mental ones? I mean, you never like penalties, but if a guy's just going to get a little too amped up, are you maybe a little more okay with that than if you're maybe an offsides or a false start?
I personally, as a coach, I would rather say down boy than say giddy up. It's a lot harder to motivate a player and get him fired up than it is to calm him down. And especially like you said, you mentioned he's a freshman. It's a freshman mistake, and that's something that can be corrected over time as with maturity. But, you know, in this situation, I might be a little bit upset because that disrupts a big play that we just had. But I'm more okay with those type of penalties than I am with the little mental mistakes.
So it's going to be 1st and 10. It's going to move the ball back for Spanish Fork to their own 45-yard line with 2:06 to go. Kiesel from the shotgun. He's going to have some time. Looks down the middle, throws it quick. In and out of the hands there. Looked like to go to Salofa Funa, just running right down the seam of the defense.
Yeah, it went through Funa's hand, and it also went through a couple defenders for Maple Mountain as well. That ball had some mustard on it from Kiesel's hands. He really fired that one in there. If he maybe takes just a little bit off of it, gets a little bit more touch, Funa might have been able to catch that ball for a first down.
2nd down and 10. Jackson Higgins into the bottom of your screen. Isaac Pendleton split to the top. Kiesel steps back to pass with some time. Looks over the middle, looking for Christensen. Ball was thrown low. The one spot where Braden Christensen could get there. Sorry, that was Brooks Ringer as he went down for it, but the pass just goes incomplete, brings up a 3rd and 10.
Like you said, Ryan, Kiesel putting that ball on a dime, only where his receiver could catch it. A very difficult catch at that, and unfortunately was not able to come up with it and sets up a big 3rd down and 10. There's like 2 minutes left to go. Spanish Fork has an opportunity to score here, and they don't want to turn it back over to Maple Mountain.
And now it's going to be 3rd and 10 coming up here at the 46-yard line. Ready to go. Pressure looks like it's coming. 3-man rush comes over the middle. Pass intercepted by Maple Mountain. Over the middle. That is Jarrett Boyer, number 53, coming away with the ball. The linebacker just dropped right back into coverage. And that's a huge turnover right before halftime. Momentum back to Maple Mountain, and this is a must-score opportunity if you're the Golden Eagles.
Well, it looks like Kiesel was eyeing Braden Christensen, his tight end, number 5, all the way, and he didn't even see the defender step up to make that play. Jarrett Boyer, heads-up play to stick his hands up and to catch that ball. But again, Kiesel, 2 costly mistakes here in this first half with underthrown balls, leading to turnovers for Maple Mountain.
1st and 10, ball on the 41-yard line for Maple Mountain. A big drive here for the Golden Eagles. Hall rolls out, looks over the middle. He's got a man. That's first down. The ball comes loose, and Maple and Spanish Fork recovers.
Wow.
Mace Funa comes up with the INT. That's another interception for Mace Funa.
What a turn of events. Let's take a look at this replay by the Car guys. That was an excellent throw by Jaron Hall. Great play call. And Casper catches it, but gets upended, and the ball pops just in the perfect position for Funa to catch that ball. And a crazy swing of events. And if you're Spanish Fork, you need to capitalize in this minute 45.
That's a huge opportunity here. 1st down and 10. Kiesel going to keep it on the side. Here comes Kiesel going to the outside. He's going to lower his head. Gets around the 48-yard line. And now it's going to bring up 2nd down and about 7. Clock running, 1:25 to go here. 2nd quarter, 7-3 Spanish Fork trailing as they're driving here before halftime. I talk about a big turnover for that Spanish Fork defense. Find a way to come up with the stop. And now we'll see here what they can do. Minute 9, clock running. Don's not being too urgent. Stepping up, Kiesel pressured, looking to do something with it, drops it off. That's complete to Isaac Pendleton to around the 45-yard line. Dons will move the sticks with 1:01 to go.
that's just something that you can't teach. You either have it or you don't. And Kiesel, he's definitely got it. I mean, he's got defenders draped all over him. He has his left arm down with sticking his hand on the defender's helmet to try and give him just a little bit more time. And he still has the athleticism enough and the presence of mind enough to throw that ball down the field to get a first down. I mean, hats off to you, Nate Kiesel.
Kiesel now going to get ready to come from the shotgun. They're going to split out. Landon Jensen kind of into the slot there, the top of your screen. Kiesel with some time, steps up, looking down the field for Higginson, and Higginson goes up, the ball goes in and out of his hands, battling one-on-one there in the pass coverage was Peyton Pond, and that one goes incomplete.
That was a great throw. Nate Kiesel had a perfect spiral on that ball coming down to Higginson, and Higginson just unfortunately was not able to come up with it. He had the defender, beat in position. Kiesel steps up in the pocket, makes a nice throw. Higginson just not able to come up with that ball, but that was a very, very well thrown football.
Second down and 10 coming up, ball on the 41-yard line. It does stop the clock, which I guess is a somewhat positive thing if you're Spanish Fork, although you would have rather had the completion. Kiesel takes the direct snap, gets away from one, gets to the 35 to the 30. It could be a foot race, lowers the head at the 21-yard line. That's a first down for Spanish Fork. The clock will stop momentarily while they reset the chains, but then with 46 seconds, that clock's going to start running.
Kiesel taking the game into his own hands here. A couple of bad passes, but he just takes this one, jukes the defender. See you later. He pushes the X button on the Xbox and gets up the field to get a first down, and I believe we're going to have a timeout on the play.
I didn't see who called it. I want to say Spanish Fork, but I'm not 100% sure. Here at Maple Mountain, the scoreboard doesn't have the timeout thing up there to be able to 100% confirm. But nonetheless, with 46 seconds to go before half, timeout Spanish Fork. And Brandon, this really is with everything that's gone wrong for Spanish Fork here in the first half. And not that it's been a ton, but a couple of their mistakes have been costly. To only be down 4 points right now, heading with 46 seconds, you have a chance maybe to take the lead into the halftime locker room. You have to be fortunate right now if you're head coach Jordan Smith and the Dons.
Yes, also if you're Jordan Smith, you have time. You have 46 seconds and you're within your own 25-yard line. And so you definitely have time. And so you don't need to force anything. You don't need to pressure your own teammates, and just let Kiesel work his magic, whether it be with his feet or whether it be with his arm. Just give your confidence in your quarterback and let him make the play. Kiesel rolls out and finds a man. The pass is intended for his receiver on the far sideline. That is Wade Stanton. And that pass was deflected and almost intercepted by Maple Mountain.
And that would have been disastrous with 39 seconds to go. Spanish Fork trying to find some way to get in the end zone. And just at times, the Spanish Fork offense this year has struggled. As you see on the Car Guys instant replay, a ball just kind of maybe thrown into some traffic. Kiesel maybe a little too eager to make something happen. They're looking for Salofa Funa. Second attempt from the 21-yard line. Kiesel from shotgun. He's going to go with, looks like 4 wide receivers on the play. Kiesel takes the direct snap. He's at the 20-yard line trying to get to the corner. Does he have the speed? Gets down to about the 14-yard line when he's brought down. Clock at 30 seconds and still running. No timeouts called yet. Now the whistle will blow and we'll get a timeout.
Anytime you take a run, it eats up a lot of clock, especially if you can't get out of bounds. And unfortunately for Spanish Fork and for Kiesel, they were not able to get out of bounds. They had to burn that timeout. But luckily, they had some timeouts to burn. Now, this is a 3rd down and 10. This sets up a crucial play call for Coach Smith and the Spanish Fork Dons. I mean, the momentum so far has been because of Kiesel's athletic ability in making plays. And it'd be very interesting to see what type of play they call here. If you want to roll him out to the right-hand side, let him try to run and create something with his feet, or if it's a designed pocket pass play.
And it's going to be interesting, too, from Maple Mountain's defense, because we've seen the Maple Mountain defense be very disciplined tonight, not get caught up in, okay, Kiesel's going to run, let's load the box, and then be susceptible to that deep ball. They have really played kind of in that front 7. They've played very stout, and they said, okay, we understand. A quarterback like Nate Kiesel, just like Jaron Hall, they're very similar. They're going to get their yards here and there. It's containing them from making those big plays that you have to do.
Keep him within the tackle boxes. If you're a defensive end for Maple Mountain, make sure you maintain your ground and contain Kiesel here.
3rd and 4 from the 14. Kiesel going to take the direct snap right up the middle at the 10. He's going to get hit pretty close to the marker. We'll see. And now we'll see here what they're going to do. They might maybe take the chance here to get the change. It's going to be a first down with 21 seconds, though. Once that ball is set, that clock's going to begin to run. Kiesel looking over towards the sideline, looking to try to see if he can get the play call set. Christensen in there at tight end, 4 wide receivers, clock running, 14 seconds. Kiesel steps up, dancing around, looking to do something with it, throws it in the end zone, intercepted at the goal line. Maple Mountain trying to run it back for 6. On the foot race, all the way, one guy to beat, that's going to go back to the house. One guy, Pendleton, brings them down from behind as Corey Rokovitz was in a foot race and Isaac Pendleton was the last Don to catch him with 0.3 of a second left. Just enough time to maybe bring on Tanner Dayton for a field goal try.
That is some epic defense and another goal line stand, if you will, for Maple Mountain. Kiesel buying time, rolling right, trying to find his receiver, and there it was, an interception. And Corey Rokovitz, great athleticism to get down the field, but tip your hats off to Isaac Pendleton, coming from out of nowhere, full speed to stop what was surely a touchdown.
And now with 0.3 of a second to go before halftime, Tanner Dayton's going to come on. I think we're going to get a Maple Mountain timeout. Coach Burtonshaw wants to maybe talk about this one a little bit. No doubt you're going to have to take the field goal try here with Tanner Dayton with the leg that he has. And you talk about that momentum of a play. All of a sudden, Spanish Fork once again, as we see it again on the Car Guys Instant Replay, the Dons driving, looking like they have a chance to take the lead, and that Maple Mountain defense tonight has played really stout.
Yeah, Corey Rokovitz coming up huge. And we've seen Maple Mountain throughout the season so far. We're still fairly early but on in the season, but we're halfway through. And so far, consistency from the defensive front and defensive front seven, if you will, has been very vital to the success of this Maple Mountain ball club. And Corey Rokovitz is doing a fantastic job in leading in the linebacker core. And again, it's just missed opportunities if you're Spanish Fork. 3 costly turnovers for them in the first half. They could very well be leading this ball game right now, 21 or 24-7. But because of those turnovers, they're still trailing by 4 and possibly 7 with this field goal.
Tanner Dayton on for the field goal try. The snap is low. The kick is up, and it was blocked. The kick is blocked. The ball is loose. It will be picked up, and somebody came up with it at the end of the pile, but that will end the first half.
I'm sorry. I was just going to say special teams woes continue to plague Maple Mountain, and if you're Coach Burtonshaw and you're halfway through the season, that is something to really keep your focus on.
And so definitely one thing here right before halftime, we're getting ready to set it down to Freddie Woods, who will catch a quick halftime interview with us for us here. He's down there, it looks like, as we're waiting here, and we're just going to keep it here momentarily as we wait. But Brandon, you really take a look at this first half. Moments of opportunities here right now. We're going to take a break here on Spanish Fork Community Network. At halftime, Maple Mountain 7, Spanish Fork 3. You're watching high school football here on the Spanish Fork Community Network.
Saturday night, September 26th, Spanish Fork is gonna rumble as Larry H. Miller Chevrolet Provo proudly presents the 2nd annual Rematch Results Spanish Fork fighting for a pure freestyle bullfight at the Spanish Fork Rodeo Grounds. 12 of the top freestyle bullfighters from around the country will take on the meanest and baddest fighting bulls you have ever seen. All to raise money for the Juvenile Diabetes Research Foundation. Brought to you by Utah Valley Power Sports, Cabela's, and Rock Canyon Bank. You'll pay for the whole seat, but you'll only need the edge.
Need a new car or truck? The Car Guys has the best selection of used vehicles at the best prices in Spanish Fork. The Car Guys know their automobiles to get you the best car for your needs and your budget. The Car Guys at 872 North Main in Spanish Fork.
In Spanish Fork, see your good neighbor State Farm agent Lance Wilson for your insurance and financial needs.
MVP Sports is the #1 source for sporting goods in Spanish Fork. Football, soccer, all the fall sports, we've got you covered. Check out our new custom t-shirt builder. Design at home and we'll build it for you. MVP Sports, 72 North Main in Spanish Fork. You know Triple T Heating and Cooling, but did you know that Triple T does plumbing? From tankless hot water, soft water, and reverse osmosis drinking water systems, right down to that leaky faucet. Triple T sure does plumbing. Call Triple T at 801-798-7711 today.
Back here at Maple Mountain High School at halftime, where the Golden Eagles lead it 7-3 over crosstown rival Spanish Fork. Let's head down to the sidelines and join Freddie Woods. Freddie?
Guys, I'm here with assistant coach Jerry Cloward. Coach, thanks for being with us, taking your time. Coach, you held the offense of Spanish Fork to 3 points. What are you guys doing specifically that's working?
You know, our defense has really come together this year as far as being together as a team. So one of the biggest things that we see is just really working together as a team effort. We're really making adjustments quick, and these guys being able to work together has made a huge difference on us being able to stop people.
Nate Kiesel is a very mobile quarterback. He can get things done with his legs as well. How are you containing him? How do you feel like you've been successful at that?
You know, we've worked a lot on that in practice with being able to take our backers and our DNs. We've got 2 really good DNs that we're pretty proud of, and by taking that combination of those guys, we've really been able to adjust well enough to stop that. So,
tell us what your defensive backs are being able to do, picking off Nate Kiesel so many times.
You know, one of the things that we do in practice all the time is just to really make sure that they go deep enough and really read that quarterback. So really we're going back to the basics with our backs and making sure they read those quarterbacks and fade back far enough. And by doing that, we're pretty far back as far as most linebackers are. And by reading that quarterback, we've made a huge difference on being able to get more interceptions than most.
We wish you best of luck in the second half, Coach.
Thank you. All right, appreciate it.
Wish you best of luck. We'll turn it over now to Jerry and Ken and Sam, who will give us some more updates.
Okay. Thanks, Freddie and Sam. Well, here we go. We knew it was going to be close. We knew it was going to be a good game. Right on.
Yeah, you know, I think for the most part, both coaches are in there right now, at least on the offensive side, talking about a little bit of sloppy play. There's been some huge penalties and 5 interceptions. We talk so much about the amazing ability of these quarterbacks, and you're seeing it. There's a lot of great things they've done, but they've also had those 5 turnovers, and that's been kind of the difference in a 7-3 ball game right now.
It really has. I mean, honestly, I really think both of those 2 quarterbacks are more effective when coverage breaks down and they're running and they're kind of ad-libbing a little bit in the backfield. That's when they're most dangerous, I think.
Yeah, they've both been really dangerous. When the pressure when the pocket crumbles, those guys are dangerous. And in fact, I'm sure that D coordinators are probably going, gosh, I hope the pocket doesn't crumble, because those guys get out, and if you don't have linebackers or DBs that are playing up, they're going to get 5, 7, 10 yards, and sometimes we saw some really big yards out of those guys.
Yeah, absolutely. And, you know, and a kind of common theme last week was a ton of penalties, and it looks like it's kind of followed both teams into this game. There's been some big plays that have been nullified by penalties, and it's not just one team. Both teams making a lot of mistakes, and it might be nerves when we get into a rivalry game like this.
Yeah, I think definitely nerves are a factor tonight. The guys had to have been jacked up. It's a homecoming game. The crowd is absolutely packed. It's a beautiful night. There's a lot of festivities going on. But again, I think it comes down to the fact that the offenses still have not found a rhythm. They're turning the ball over. There's not really a rhyme and reason going right now. We're running the ball effectively, and then we kind of go away from it. And, it's not really been a whole lot of mistakes other than penalties, but and turnovers, those things, they've been really magnified tonight.
Absolutely. And I mean, it just seems like there's been no drives that they've kept going. It's just been kind of, make a big play, then it's nullified. And so, you know what? And maybe that happens a lot in a rivalry game. It's homecoming here. It's a beautiful night. We got a full moon over our back. Yeah. Both stands are completely full. And it's just a lot of fun. We got an extra long halftime because all kinds of things going on for Maple Mountain for their halftime. And we had fun at the tailgate party earlier today.
Yeah, as I said, a lot of festivities going on. Homecoming week is an exciting time for any high school student. You got the big dance coming up tomorrow, and so all the girls get to be dressed up, and the guys, they get to find out what it's like to court somebody and take them out, so it's kind of fun. And you know that the guys on the football team are probably thinking a little bit about their date a little bit right now.
Right.
Maybe they'll correct that in the locker room, those coaches. But again, some great things have happened in this game tonight, despite the fact that we've talked about a little bit of sloppy play. There have been some really good things. Some guys that stand out to me. 2 underclassmen, Landon Jensen has had a really big night. And again, Mace Funa for the Spanish Fork Dons, at least on the Spanish Fork side, had big nights. Mace Funa with his 5th interception. Yeah. Tanner Argyle, also a junior, has had a phenomenal night. Played some really good one-on-one coverage. Had that huge hit right here that popped the ball up to Mace Funa. And then on the Maple Mountain side, Garrett Blanthorn and the name's spacing me.
Newell.
Unuafe.
Easy for you to say.
Yes.
Yeah.
Big night. Those guys make a huge difference for the Maple Mountain side. And the secondaries have played really well tonight. Again, 5 interceptions, all of them coming from the secondary, except the last one with Mace Funo, but it was caused by somebody in the secondary.
Right, and I think it puts a lot of pressure on the defensive backs when you've got Jaron Hall back there scurrying around, making a play, stretching it out to 4, 5, 8 seconds, and you got to try and stay on your guy. And there's just people that are getting open deep down the field, and he can throw it 50 yards pretty much right where he wants it.
Yeah. A couple of things to point out on the defensive side. Spanish Fork looks to be a little bit confused, which can happen in football games. But it looked like we were running a cover 2 or a zone defense, and there was a little bit of a miscommunication with the safeties and the corners. A couple of guys snuck out. Backers didn't pick guys up. On the Maple Mountain side, Spanish Fork isn't really threatening on the inside of the ball. They tried to do that right there towards the end, but they're really not threatening the middle of the football field right now, and they need to get to that because that's something that Maple Mountain's kind of shutting down our edge right now.
I kind of think that's open, and I don't quite understand. I mean, we go deep, and I know it's great because your son's going deep, and we like to go on, on just a streak pattern. But a lot of times, the bigger guys, the tight ends over the middle, I just think we're underutilizing that, and that's been kind of a common theme. Both teams, really.
Yes. I think it's kind of a common theme in high school, except for maybe like a Springville. They like to use that tight end. They like to play power football. But I'm telling you, the difference tonight in the second half is who can chip away down the football field and implement a run game that is effective to open up that short yardage passing game. I think that's going to be the key, and I hope that the coaches on both teams can go in there and figure that out because I think that's going to make a big difference. It's 7-3. The Spanish Fork Dons had a touchdown called back. 2 huge penalties against them that really hurt them. Maple Mountain with the 2 interceptions. But then they get the big hold and we, hold us to a field goal down there. Right. But we do the same thing on the other end. So a lot of big things happening tonight. Special teams have also been really big.
Oh yeah, and the kickers. I mean, we saw that the field goal right off Spanish Fork scores. They get down, I think it was 1st and goal, and they can't punch it in. Have to settle for a field goal. Kind of what happened to BYU. You can't trade field goals for touchdowns in a big game. They come back to haunt you at the end of the game.
Yeah, when you've got this kind of talent, James Wilson on that side and the Butler kid, they're both really good receivers. The Spanish Fork side, had some really explosive guys as well. And so I'm waiting for a major explosive play to happen. We haven't quite seen it yet, other than Wilson had kind of a nice catch down here on this sideline. But other than that, we haven't seen a whole lot of huge plays. But I think that you're going to see who can, march it down the field little by little and then, come up with those big plays.
And it's kind of things that won't show up in the box score. Nate Kiesel's being pressured. He throws up a ball, probably ill-advised, and it gets intercepted. Guy's going for a touchdown. I really thought he was going to score. And here comes Pendleton out of nowhere and runs him down. A touchdown-saving tackle. They go for a field goal. It's blocked, so he saves us 7 points. Really, it looked like the guy was a pick six and was going to the house with it.
Yeah, I'll tell you what. It very well could come down to that very play. Right. Isaac Pendleton was 20 yards behind that guy, and I've never seen him run so fast. That was a really impressive play to watch him chase that guy down and make that tackle. And then what does it lead to? A blocked field goal from Mace Funa, the freshman, again. So those kinds of big plays, again, I think are going to be the key. If whoever can control those big plays and learn to, chip away down the field.
Yeah, so, we know this game is going to be close, but the loser of this game is going to have 2 losses in region. So when this game is over in, another 20, 30 minutes, an hour, there's going to be a really good football team with 2 losses and 2 full games behind Springville. Chances are Springville playing Uinta tonight for homecoming, a big-time favorite over Uinta at home. And so they're going to be undefeated in region, and the loser of this game is going to have 2 losses, and it's going to be tough.
Yeah, I'll tell you what. The loser of tonight's game, I would hate to be the team that is going to match up with them.
Right.
Because on the Spanish Fork side, at least, they were able to get Salem, get a win there. Right. Had a close one against Springville that they lost, and now they're getting Maple Mountain. Probably, arguably, the 3 best teams in the region. Of course, we don't know much about Wasatch, who's 4-1, and they're playing some good football. Right. And Spanish Fork has them next week, so we're going to in 2 weeks. Their next region game is Wasatch, so that's going to be a really big game. But I would hate to be the team that matches up with the loser of tonight's game, because the loser of tonight's game is still a pretty good football team in Region 8.
They're going to be a little cranky. But, we knew this game would be close because they have a common opponent, these 2 teams. They both played Springville. Springville beats Maple Mountain by 1 point on a missed extra point. They beat Spanish Fork by 2 points on a safety. So we knew it's going to be close. And here we are, a 4-point game, a halftime, and I don't expect it to be any different. So really, it could come down to the last team with the ball could be the team that's going to win it when it comes down at the end of the game.
I really think so. And, both of the kickers, as of late, the Spanish Fork kicker, Daw, has really been kicking the ball well. We already know that Tanner Dayton is a really good kicker on the Maple Mountain side. He missed one earlier and he had one blocked.
Right.
But I'll tell you what, I really do think that the great Zook might have known something, because this is going to come down to a field goal, I think, and it's going to be a really tight game.
Well, and if you saw our pregame show when we were at the tailgate party, we were talking about statistics, and the leading scorer for both teams happens to be the kicker for both teams. You think it's going to be Kiesel, you think it's going to be Jaron Hall. No. It's the kickers that are both leading their teams in scoring, and that's maybe what's going to be the difference.
I really think so. Special teams have played a huge role tonight, no question about it. The punts have been great. The kickoffs have been great. Spanish Fork is going to receive it in the second half. We'll find out if they get a chance to return it or not. Tanner has kicked 2 of them into the end zone, so we haven't had a chance to return it. But I think special teams are really going to be a big thing tonight. But in addition to that, I think that, again, we've talked a lot about the big plays. We talk a lot about being able to put together the offense. The running game on both sides has not been really effective outside of our quarterbacks.
True.
Both teams need to hand the ball off to running backs and allow them to chip away, eat up some clock, and allow for the passing game to open itself up, because I think both sides really not real comfortable there right now.
And coaches are earning their money, seeing who can get their team ready to come out and play a good second half. Let's change directions just a little bit. It's a big football weekend. I mean, it's as big an in-state college football weekend as I can remember, with BYU going to Oregon to play the Ducks and BYU going into Ann Arbor to play the Wolverines. It doesn't get any bigger college football than Oregon and Michigan, really.
No, it's huge for the state of Utah. BYU, Utah going up to the Big House. I'm going to predict, BYU going up to the Big House. Right now they're 6.5-point underdogs. It opened up at 5. It sounds like the money's going to Michigan. I don't know what that means.
I take BYU in 7.
I take BYU in 7 right now in a heartbeat. I think BYU's playing really good. It's as good a defense as I've seen at BYU. And as Tanner Mangum gets more comfortable with his reps and more experience, he's going to get better and better. And so I think BYU, I'm going to go with BYU up there. I think they're going to get them in the Big House.
Take the Cougars. It's kickoff tomorrow morning at 10 o'clock in the morning. They're used to playing all their games at 8:30 at night. Now they turn around and are going to play at 10 o'clock in the morning game on national TV. It's a big game.
Yeah. And also, with the Utah-Oregon game, also a really big game. Isaac Asiata, Spanish Fork graduate, starting against Oregon, big game. Also, we never thought we'd say this, but we're definitely rooting for the Tim View kid, Britton Covey, having a great season, great kid. Really root for the Utah County kids, and we wish them the very best. I don't know that Utah is going to be good enough. That's a tough game, but if they can win that game, the Pac-12 better watch out.
Absolutely, and I think Utah's going to be just as good as Travis Wilson is. He set out last week with the AC separation, his non-throwing shoulder. He's coming back. He's got to come out big and play big. Can't just be an average quarterback, and then they're in trouble. But if he comes out, has a big game, and go into Oregon, Oregon, their defense is a little bit suspect, but they can score points. They're quick, and they got all kinds of athletes at every position, really.
Yeah, Oregon is probably the most athletic team in the country. They've got athletes all over the place. The difference is they don't have, that Marcus Mariota, who we saw what he did in his NFL his first NFL start. The kid was amazing, but I don't know if they're as good as they were, but they definitely have the athletes to match up. But hopefully Utah's defense is going to be tough enough in the front 7 to stop them.
Okay, so I want a prediction first. You're going to take BYU over the Wolverines.
I'm going to go with my heart on both of them. I'm going to go BYU, Utah.
Okay, I'm going to go BYU and Ducks.
Okay.
I'm rooting for Isaac. I love Isaac, and I'm hoping he does a great job. And it's so cool that he's starting. When he plays, I think it's so cool. All these guys put their eye black on in different ways. He completely coats his whole face. We're asking him about it. He said it takes him back to his Don's roots, that he wants to have the mask on like he's a Don, a Spanish Fork Don. So how can you not love that?
No, he's honestly, if you're looking for an alumni that really wears his colors on his chest, that's the guy. Isaac Asiata is a great role model, a great guy for Spanish Fork and the Dons, and we wish him the very best.
Okay, there you got it. So we're going to pick BYU, Utah. We're going to think Spanish Fork. It's going to be big. Thanks for joining us. We're going to look forward to a great second half. We're going to throw it back up to the guys in the stands. I'm Ken. He's Sam. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you at the end of the game. Good night.
September 26th, Spanish Fork is gonna rumble as Larry H. Miller Chevrolet Provo proudly presents the second annual Rematch Results Spanish Fork fighting for a pure freestyle bullfight at the Spanish Fork Rodeo Grounds. 12 of the top freestyle bullfighters from around the country will take on the meanest and baddest fighting bulls you have ever seen. All to raise money for the Juvenile Diabetes Research Foundation. Brought to you by Utah Valley Power Sports, Cabela's, and Rock Canyon Bank. You'll pay for the whole seat, but you'll only need the edge.
At Curves, we know there's a part of you that's unshakable, and another part that's unbelievable, and so many parts of you that are unstoppable. Women like you have inspired us to add exciting new classes to our one-of-a-kind circuit. From brand new fitness classes that target what you care about, like your core, balance, and flexibility, to Jillian Michaels' total body workouts. The Curves circuit strengthens every part of every woman. Curves, strengthening women inside and out.
Hi, this is Paul Drockton with Drockton Bullion & Coin. Many of you are worried about paper and as a result have already invested in gold and silver. Did you know that there's a physical possession IRA where you get all the tax benefits, but you can actually manage where your gold and silver is stored? Why trust a depository where your gold may not be available when you need it? Come to Drockton Bullion & Coin. Not only do we offer gold and silver, we offer security.
Grandma, are you coming to my game today?
I have a dentist appointment. I'll try and make it.
At Gunderson Dental, we know you're busy. Family, work, friends, and everything else in your life makes it hard to make time for dental work. Dr. Gunderson and his friendly staff will help you keep on schedule so you can do those things that really matter. Same-day treatment gets more work done with fewer visits and less time. Let us help you feel and look better faster. Be there for the important moments. Call us today at Gunderson Dental in Payson.
Right now here at Maple Mountain High School at halftime, Maple Mountain leading crosstown rivals Spanish Fork 7-3. The students right in front of us, they're getting ready for a fun second half here on homecoming, as right now the Golden Eagles getting ready to run through their banner and take the field here for the second half. Brian Pickens alongside Brandon Crow. And Brandon, when you take a look at this first half, missed opportunities really did on both sides of the coin, but especially for Spanish Fork. Nate Kiesel and the Dons had a couple of chances, but they had a chance to score, and the turnovers ended those drives.
Well, if you look at Maple Mountain, their very first drive, they received the kickoff, they ran about 2 plays, and then they end up turning the ball over on their 3-yard line. But their defense stepped up big time and was able to hold them only to a field goal, and that was the only points that Spanish Fork would have in the whole first half. And again, Spanish Fork did a good job too on their defensive coverage, but with the reason why Maple Mountain doesn't have very many points isn't really having to do with Spanish Fork's defense. It's really more of along the fact that the receivers just didn't have stickum on their gloves and weren't able to reel in the balls.
Fireworks going off right behind the scoreboard as the Golden Eagles retake the field here for the second half. And right now, if you're Maple Mountain, you got to be fired up. You have a lead at halftime on your crosstown rival, and you definitely have the momentum heading into the second half.
Yeah, you have the momentum. You have that interception that was almost returned for a touchdown as time barely expired at the end of the half. But at the same time, it's only a 4-point game. And Spanish Fork gets the ball back to start off this second half. And Nate Kiesel, it was starting to figure out some things, starting to find his momentum towards the end of that first half. Although he hasn't had any very much success passing the ball, 3 interceptions on the night so far, and he's their leading rusher so far tonight. So that's not very optimistic if you're Spanish Fork. If you want to be successful, you need to have multiple people other than Kiesel get involved in their offensive play.
It's definitely going to be something here in the second half, Brandon. When you take a look at it, for Spanish Fork to kind of come from behind. I don't want to make it sound like they're down in a deep hole because it's a one-possession game.
Exactly.
One play can give the Dons the lead. What's their key in the second half in order to be successful?
Their key is they need to be consistent. They need to be consistent with their offensive plays. They need to catch the balls, the short passes, and if you're Nate Kiesel, you need to make sure you have the fine touch on those intermediate passes that we were talking about earlier in the half. Those mid-level passes, we know he's got the arm for the deep ball, and he just needs to be more consistent on that offensive side.
Now for Maple Mountain, they have the lead at home. It's definitely an exciting atmosphere here in the second half. You have your crosstown rival kind of, I don't want to say on the ropes, but you have them at a very vulnerable position. But now that defense has played so well, is going to have to step on the field first and play defense against a very good Spanish Fork offense. It struggled tonight, but like you said, one play can make a big difference.
I'm not too worried as far as the Maple Mountain. If I'm Maple Mountain, I am not very worried about my defense. They have stepped up huge tonight, stopping goal line stands for Spanish Fork. If I'm Maple Mountain, my concern is their running game. They virtually have none. They only have 28 yards rushing tonight on 13 attempts, and they just need to get that. They need to get that going so they can open up their pass play.
It's definitely going to be a great second half. We're about a minute 18 or so away from kickoff. Spanish Fork will get the kickoff to start the second half, and it's going to be a lot of fun. Let's take a quick moment here. Let's thank our sponsors for making this broadcast possible here on the Spanish Fork Community Network.
Well, our instant replay is always brought to you by our friends, the Car Guys, located on 872 North Main Street in Spanish Fork. And our MVP Sports MVP of the game, we're going to be giving that away at the end of the game. MVP Sports always taking care of your sporting goods needs in the area. Lance Wilson from State Farm. We're going to look for another great assist in the second half from State Farm with help from Lance Wilson. 2 Jack's Pizza. I wish I had some with me right now. Kind of hungry, but if you're at home or if you're listening to this or watching this on YouTube, order us some 2 Jack's Pizza. And again, thank you Triple T and all of our sponsors for putting on these broadcasts each and every week for you to enjoy on sfcn.org, on youtube.com/SpanishFork17, or if you're at home on Spanish Fork 17, and as well this year on Spanish Fork 16.
Yeah, so definitely excited. Spanish Fork back at home next week for Alta, a game that will be on Spanish Fork 17. Maple Mountain, now I'm trying to remember, I want to say, is it the Uinta game next week?
Yes, we're at Uinta next week.
And I believe that one is on Spanish Fork 16. So
yeah, we'll be there to cover it.
So it's going to be, you get the fun. Are you excited for that trip out to Uinta? Or?
Hey, I'm excited. We went down to North St. Pete a little while ago. I mean, if Maple Mountain continues to play as well as they have been, they come away with a victory. Next week should be a fairly exciting game.
So definitely right now that clock has hit triple zeros, about to switch over to 12. Once again, if you're just joining us, the big difference, a Jaron Hall's a James Wilson touchdown, a field goal by James Daw, the only scoring in the first half. As the student section begins to kind of jump up and down, Spanish Fork will receive the ball to open up the third quarter, and then Maple Mountain will send out that defense. We're just about set. Coach Burton Shaw talking with the officials, making sure everything is good and ready to go for the second half. And we're just about set to get ready to go here. The teams are just taking the field. This should settle in to be a good one. Looks like there's some confusion as to which team was lining up on what side. Maple Mountain will now head, and everybody will be set. Back deep, Leo Saili standing back at his goal line for Spanish Fork. Ready to go here will be Tanner Dayton, and as Ken and Sam said on the pregame show, during the halftime show, Tanner Dayton has not given his opponents very many times to put a return on this one. He didn't do it much last year either for Maple Mountain. Ready to go, and here's the kick. Kind of a deep kick, and that one's going to go deep and out of the end zone. And so no return once again for Leo Saili. And this will start now the third quarter out on the 20-yard line for the Spanish Fork Dons.
Well, he had a bit of a running start, but we know Dayton has a leg. Put that one through the uprights. Got some celebrations, some cheers from his teammates on the sideline. But we need to focus here on Spanish Fork's offense. See if Nate Kiesel can fine-tune those screws and get a rhythm and a momentum going to get some points up on the board for the Dons.
Spanish Fork in the white tops, white pants, and kind of the silver helmets. And Maple Mountain in the maroon helmets, gray tops, and maroon pants. Nate Kiesel from shotgun, 4 wide receiver set. Salofa Funa, the tailback. They're gonna go play action and dump it over the middle. Here's Braden Christensen. He's got some room to run. He's gonna get a first down out across the 32-yard line. And Spanish Fork starts it off with one of those quick passes over the middle. They have a chance to try to get something going here.
Spanish Fork averaged 6.5 yards per pass play in the first half. 14 attempts. They completed 4 of them for only 26 yards. So I would look for Spanish Fork and Kiesel to really get that offensive rhythm going. And what a perfect start by hitting Christensen for the first down.
First and 10 across the 33. The Spanish Fork offense has looked a little more kind of comfortable and fluent when they've gotten some first downs together and been able to kind of play with a little bit of tempo. Kiesel steps back. He's going to throw that one out in the flat. That one batted down again. It looks like he underthrew his intended receiver. And getting there was number 14, Camden Jackman, who kind of knocked that one away.
Yeah, heads-up play by Jackman to stick his hand in there at the last second to deflect that ball away. But 2 plays so far for Spanish Fork and 2 passing plays. And so I think Coach Smith is definitely looking at what he thinks his team needs to improve on in order to be effective in this game, and that is getting the ball in the air.
3 receiver set. Kiesel from shotgun. Salofa Funa the back. Sorry, they give it to that's Landon Jensen up the middle. Jensen's going to go across the 40-yard line to the 41-yard line. He's going to get about 6 yards on the carry as whistles blow here around the 40-yard line. That would be a nice gain of 6. Maybe, no, that's going to be 7 on first down.
Landon Jensen's helmet came off, so he had to go into the sideline. It would be substituted in for. But so far, so good for Spanish Fork. It's a nice, fluid momentum to get this second half started. And they're only trailing 4, like you said, Ryan. Just one more score can put them over the top here, and they'll be in the lead in this ball game.
Isaac Pendleton to the bottom of your screen. Watch out, Jackson Higginson, one of the deep targets for Spanish Fork at the very top of your screen. There's the give up the middle. Salofa Funa gets into the second level. He lowers his shoulder, picks up a first down across the 50, and it's another first down coming up for Spanish Fork.
So Salofa Funa, the big guy, lowering his shoulders and plowing up the middle, just trucking guys, getting to that second level. And another, this is, I believe, the third first down of this drive for Spanish Fork. So a nice way to get things going out of the gate for the Dons. And look for Kiesel to probably do something here by himself.
Kiesel from kind of a pistol formation. I would guess it's a shotgun formation, 3-step drop. With some time, looks over the middle, got a man, and that's going to be pretty close to about the 41-yard line. There's Jackson Higginson as he gets the catch there, and a nice ball once again. Kiesel able to put that kind of low in the one spot where Higginson is able to go down and get it. That's a nice catch there from Jackson Higginson.
Some solid fundamentals and some good footwork by Kiesel, dancing around in that pocket, getting set, and making that throw down the field.
Spanish Fork's had a lot of success tonight. We're kind of going those intermediate routes so far tonight. Here's the give on the carry. It's going to be Landon Jensen. And Jensen gets down to about the 35-yard line. Good for another first down. But it looks like we might have had a penalty marker in there. Maple Mountain's pointing backwards, and it's going to be a first down.
Well, the ball came loose towards the end of the play. Maple Mountain came out of the scrum with the ball. The Golden Eagles are claiming that it was a fumble, but the referee said that the ball was down by contact before the ball came out. And another first down for the Dons. So far right now, this offense for Spanish Fork looks like a completely different offense than we saw them in the first half.
Kiesel ready to go again. Fakes it over the middle. Now it's complete. Here's Braden Christensen. He's going to run down around the 21-yard line. And so far, they've really liked that, just kind of that dump route to the tight end. Not exactly something that's very flashy, but it's working right now.
No, they'll take anything that they can get. And right now, just precision from Kiesel. And it's the keys to the game that we talked about earlier at halftime. They need to be consistent, and they need to make those short passes here and there to set up the run. And that's exactly what we're seeing right now from Spanish Fork, marching down the field with ease.
First and 10 from the 22-yard line. Don's driving. Here's Kiesel on the keeper. He's going to get to the corner to about the 16-yard line. And right there, Maple Mountain able to just slow him up at the last second. Kind of stopped his momentum and forced him out of bounds.
Yeah, Camden Jackman made that saving tackle. But Kiesel getting some blocks from his big man up front, showing off his speed and his legs, getting to the outside. And again, this is a very, very successful drive so far for Spanish Fork. And if you are a Spanish Fork Don fan in the stands, you have to be extremely happy from what you're seeing right now.
2nd and 3 from the 15-yard line. Kiesel from shotgun. 3 wide receivers are going to give it right at the middle. Salofa Funa runs in. Sorry, that's Jensen once again. He ran into Jordan Larson from his linebacker spot, and Larson brought Jensen down.
Yeah, 2 bowling balls colliding here as we see Jordan Larson. Oh, he really got blocked into the runner there. But still, Jordan Larson, a big enough man to knock down the running back for a little bit of a loss.
And now a big 3rd and 5 coming up for Spanish Fork. The Dons converted once tonight on a James Daw field goal, but now they're trying to see if they can convert here on this 3rd and 5. Higginson to the top of your screen. Watch Isaac Pendleton kind of running a curl route, something he's liked to do for most of the season. Back to pass. Kiesel with time. Now being pressured. He's going to go down back to the 32-yard line. Getting there was number 44, Zach Maurer, from his linebacker position, and he was there, and there was nowhere for Nate Kiesel to go.
Zach Maurer coming up clutch here on a big down for the Maple Mountain defense. Just bull rushes straight past the offensive lineman, gets in the backfield, and barely holding on to the ball was Kiesel as he goes down. If you take a look here, almost slips out, but Kiesel somehow was able to secure that thing and take a big loss instead of causing that a fumble.
And now it looks like Spanish Fork kind of at no man's land. It looks like they're going to go for it here. They need around the 12-yard line to convert, but they're kind of far out for a field goal, but not far enough to punt, so they'll go for it here. Looking for that 12-yard line. 3 wide receiver set. Kiesel from shotgun. He's going to throw. Has some time. Steps up. Going to roll away. Throws it low. It's not going to be enough for the first down. And that's going to be short anyway. They're going to say it looks like he caught it at the 15-yard line, but short of the first down, so it's going to be a turnover on downs.
Well, Spanish Fork had all the momentum going there, driving down the field at ease, and just an unfortunate mistake, taking a big sack and giving the ball right back to Maple Mountain.
And it's hard because as a receiver in that idea, you have to understand where that first down marker is. Maple Mountain there just rushes 3, drops 8, and says, okay, go ahead and throw it. And they've had a lot of success tonight when they've dropped 8 into the secondary.
Yeah, at that moment just turns into backyard football. Go to the flagpole and turn around.
1st and 10, ball at the 15-yard line. Hall from shotgun. And that's a high snap, and that's a loose ball. Salofa Funa trying to get it. Diving for it. It's going to go out of the end zone for a safety. And we're waiting, and now the call is a safety, and that's going to be a turnover, and that's something you cannot have if you're Maple Mountain.
No, and again, fundamentals are what we talked about at the very beginning of this game. Maple Mountain lost a game earlier this season based off a fundamental mistake on special teams, and having a snap go over the head of a quarterback into the end zone when you're deep in your own territory, that is just something that cannot happen. As we take another look at it here, just a bad exchange well over the head of Jaron Hall. Jaron Hall doing his might, everything he can to get it back, but the ball was knocked out of the back of the end zone, and that's 2 points awarded to Spanish Fork.
And something you're not going to see very much from the Maple Mountain starting center, Nolan Nufe. He's not going to snap that ball over the head of Jaron Hall very often. But now, Brandon, you talking about that offense building off of this drive. This is an opportunity for Spanish Fork to take full control of this game here in the third.
They have the definite potential to, and they're going to get some solid field position right now. They're going to get better field position now than they would have on a regular kickoff. And it'll be interesting to see if they can continue that momentum that they had with that last drive, and if Kiesel can continue to move the ball down the field very precisely.
Leo Saili going to go back deep. He's standing about his own 14-yard line. Tanner Dayton will kick it off from the 20. And here's just kind of a low line drive kick. Saili's going to have it. It's going to bounce and go into the end zone. So what you thought was going to be great field position, Leo Saili, I don't know if he lost it or something, but he lets it bounce past him. And in high school football, the minute that ball crosses the goal line, it's a touchback.
Yeah, if you look at the reaction from Saili, he knew he had a missed opportunity there as he saw the ball go right past him into the end zone. He just shakes his head, clenches his fist, and runs off to the sideline because he knew he should have picked that ball up and ran with it.
7-5 in favor of Maple Mountain. It kind of feels more like a baseball score right now. It's 7-5 than high school football. As 1st down and 10, the give goes right up the middle. Here's Salofa Funa. He gets hit, runs over somebody, and then once again Maurer comes and just lowers the boom on Salofa Funa, and he maybe got a half a yard on that. That's a lot of work for a half a yard.
Tremendous work and tremendous load. And Funa, he's no pushover. He lowers his shoulder, trucks over one defender, but then again Maurer comes in and says, hey, anything you can do, I can try to do better. Lowers his shoulder and knocks off Funa's helmet, so Funa's going to have to go out to the sideline and sit for a play before he comes back in.
6:52 to go, third quarter. The clock moving pretty quick. A lot more run coming here in the second half from Spanish Fork. Still trailing this one 7-5. Here's the give on the carry there, and still moving the pile. Landon Jensen. We haven't seen a ton of Landon Jensen until the last couple of weeks. I believe it was last week in that Springville game. Might have been the first time we saw him line up. Salem Hills, I think, was the first game that we saw Jensen line up in as a tailback. And now it's going to be 3rd down and 2 coming up. And this is a huge conversion needed here by the Spanish Fork offense if they want to try to sustain a drive.
This is also huge for Maple Mountain. Coming after that, Botch snapped it towards their own end zone. This would be a big confidence booster to get the ball back in some decent field position.
Kiesel ready to go. He's going to keep it as he's going to get the first down. Gets out to around the 35-yard line. That's a first down. Once again, just kind of that read option play. And Kiesel, maybe not even so much as more of a quarterback draw than an option play, but Kiesel able to use his legs to get the first down.
When in doubt, run it out. And Kiesel didn't like his options that he saw on the outside, and so he decided to call his own number and just take it up the middle. And again, that tall 6'3" frame with those long legs can get you some more yardage than other people might.
Kiesel played last season in the state of California, led his team to the state championship there. First down and 10, ball on the 35-yard line. Kiesel play action, he's going to throw. Has good time. Now the pocket kind of collapses, has to do something with it. Steps up and he's going down. Sacked back to the 32-yard line. Getting in there, I'm trying to see. Might have been Rokovitz, number 21, getting in there. But, almost maybe too much time. A great coverage sack there by the Golden Eagles.
Yeah, at times where you think Kiesel would throw the football, he runs with it. And here, he tried to stay in the pocket, but it was just good, solid coverage from Maple Mountain, containing him in that pocket presence. Really had nowhere to go with his feet or with his arms.
Jared Blanthorne there getting pressure on the quarterback, and Rokovitz gets the sack. Here's Jensen again as he piles his way towards the line of scrimmage there. He's going to get a few out to around the 40-yard line. Picks up around 7 on the play, and that brings up a 3rd and about 5. And so a pretty good situation coming up here if you're Nate Kiesel. And Spanish Fork as you try to have a good opportunity to try to convert.
Yeah, there's some solid running there from Spanish Fork, getting that ball up into the secondary and not going down on the first contact.
4:23 to go, 3rd quarter. Here's the give, and nothing going on the carry as just hit the middle of that line. And I would think that Anufe would be in there on this stop, but Maurer and Blanthorne also getting there. And that's a tough situation to try to run through the middle with that group of Golden Eagle defenders. That brings up a tough 4th down.
Well, again, it brings back the key factor that Spanish Fork has going for him with Nate Kiesel. Nate Kiesel, again, 6'3". If he just tries to go forward even just a smidge and lay down, he'll have that first down.
Spanish Fork going for it, 4th and 1. Kiesel keeps it, and he didn't get it. He lost yardage on the play. The push up front from the Maple Mountain defensive line holds Kiesel and company in check, and that's going to be a turnover, and now Maple Mountain's defense has great field position.
If they were going to do a call like that, I don't know why they would have had him under center. Under center, he's closer to the line of scrimmage. All he has to do is get lower shoulder and go forward. But having him in shotgun just provides more opportunity and more time for the defenders, especially the nose guard, Nolan Nufe, and company to get back in the backfield to make that sack. But again, tip your hats off to the Maple Mountain Golden Eagle defense. That's another 4th down stop that they've made so far in this game.
I'm surprised, too, with the 3rd down call, very similar, and they didn't get much. I'm surprised they would go to it on 4th down. Here's the give right up the middle. Looks like it's King on the carry. He gets down to about the 39-yard line. And now, the thing is, Brandon, you got to kind of think of it. That clock moving very quickly with all this running opportunity. A score here by Maple Mountain puts a lot of pressure on that Spanish Fork offense that hasn't had a lot of success tonight.
It very much does, especially if Maple Mountain can get this run game solid down and effective.
King on the carry again, goes right up the middle. And gets a couple down to about 33. Gets down to about the 37-yard line. So now a big play coming up here. Maple Mountain looking for the 34 to convert. Third and 4 coming up. Hall looking down the field over towards the sideline. He's got a completion out there to Dawson Butler. That's going to be a first down, and Maple Mountain able to try to find a way to convert.
That's only Dawson Butler's second catch of the ballgame. He only had one catch in the first half, one catch for 63 yards, the big bomb from Jaron Hall. But again, Jaron Hall, he has great pocket presence. He sees the defender coming, and he knows he's going to get hit, but yet he stays in the pocket, makes a strong throw to the far side on the money to his receiver for a first down.
First down and 10 coming up here. Ball on the 31-yard line from the shotgun. They're going to send a man in motion across the field. Here's the give right up the middle. Nothing going on as Spanish Fork was able to get there immediately. In fact, losing a half a yard on the play was Maple Mountain.
Spanish Fork was not fooled on that play whatsoever. They looked like they saw that coming from a mile away. And this is not an effective play call for the Golden Eagles.
Trujillo getting there once again. He's had a great season for Spanish Fork on that defensive line, putting a lot of pressure on opposing quarterbacks. Second and 10 coming up. Shotgun set. 3 receivers to the bottom of your screen. Hall with some time. He's going to roll out now. He's going to just keep it. Looking for the first down. He's got the 30-yard line, lowers his head. Still on the move. Knocked out of bounds at around the 26 after a gain of about 5, maybe 6 yards. Apui a little slow to get up there. And now with a minute 36 to go in the third quarter, that clock moving quick. Maple Mountain looks like they're going to go tempo, no huddle here on this third and about 5. Shotgun set for Hall. 3 wide receivers. James Wilson to the bottom of your screen. In the slot, Hall going to roll out to the right. Looks downfield with some time. Now looking back. He throws it for Dawson Butler. Goes up. That one incomplete. Butler kind of having to go up for it. I couldn't quite come up with it. And I don't see any flags down. I'm sorry, it was James Wilson, the intended receiver. And that's going to bring out 4th and 4. And you have to think Maple Mountain might consider just going for it here.
Again, Jaron Hall, he has plenty of time to throw. Just a designed rollout to his right to try and stop and throw back all the way across his body to the other side of the field. And he had James Wilson, but just overthrew him by maybe an inch or two. And that would have been an incredible catch nonetheless.
4th down and about 4 from the 26-yard line. Hall from shotgun. Josh back with time. He's looking, throws it high. That one's not knocked down, incomplete. Tanner Argyle getting his hand on the ball, and it's knocked incomplete. That would be a turnover on downs. So a defensive battle that we have going on here with the final minute 5 to go in the third quarter. And it just seems like you're waiting for that Spanish Fork offense, or at least I've been waiting all night to see that offense just explode with a big play.
We've definitely seen the opportunities in the first half. The receivers just haven't been able to come up with it at all. But right there, it looked like there was just a little miscommunication between Jaron Hall and his intended receivers, where somebody zigged where they should have zagged, and Spanish Fork ends up coming up with the ball back and not giving up any more points.
First down and 10 as the give goes right up the middle. Looks like Landon Jensen again on the carry. He's just going to keep moving those legs, and he's going to get quite a bit. He's going to get about 7, 6, maybe probably around 6 or so on that first down carry.
These running backs of Spanish Fork are very impressive. They just keep their legs running, and they lower their shoulders, and even though they get hit once or twice, they still continue to plow forward, and they get positive yards. Very impressive from Spanish Fork.
It's going to bring up about a second, about 3, maybe 4 coming up here with 40 seconds to go in the third quarter. Jackson Higginson to the top of your screen. Salofa Foon to the back here, comes in on the 2nd and 4. Kiesel on the quarterback draw. He's going to get the first down. Makes a spin move, still on his feet. Reaches out with the ball, tries to get to as many yards as he can. He's going to get to the 41-yard line. That's a first down.
Kiesel is showing off his athleticism, taking a straight run up the middle and a little stutter step right here. And he doesn't do a complete spin, but that little hesitation draws the defender his momentum forward, and he ducks underneath to get another 2-3 more yards.
11 seconds to go in the third, likely the final play of the quarter coming here. Braden Christensen now set up, ready to go. 3 on the clock. Here's the give, and it's going to be Kiesel on the carry again. And he's going to get a couple out to around the 44-yard line, but that's the way the third quarter is going to end. So right now at the end of the third quarter, it's Spanish Fork 5 and Maple Mountain 7. We're setting up for this defensive battle. Will the offenses come alive in the fourth quarter? We'll find out after the break. You're watching high school football here on the Spanish Fork Community Network.
Need a new car or truck? The Car Guys has the best selection of used vehicles at the best prices in Spanish Fork. The Car Guys know their automobiles to get you the best car for your needs and your budget. The Car Guys at 872 North Main in Spanish Fork.
In Spanish Fork, see your good neighbor State Farm agent Lance Wilson for your insurance and financial needs.
MVP Sports is the #1 source for sporting goods in Spanish Fork. Football, soccer, all the fall sports, we've got you covered. Check out our new custom t-shirt builder. Design at home and we'll build it for you. MVP Sports, 72 North Main in Spanish Fork.
Jensen is the ball carrier, brought down by Jordan Larson. Hunter McKell also on the play.
Close, but he didn't get it again. He ran into that middle of that defensive line for Maple Mountain, and he had got nowhere. And you would kind of think that's been the staple of Maple Mountain tonight. You have to kind of wonder if there becomes a point where you have to kind of abandon that run play as Golden Eagles down here on the field.
Yeah, the run game has definitely not been as effective tonight for Spanish Fork as it looks to be a defensive lineman down for Maple Mountain.
And so definitely kind of interesting to see. We can't see specifically who it is. And it might be Jared Blanthorne, they're saying over the PA here. And that would be a big loss on that defensive line for Maple Mountain. As next week the Golden Eagles make the trek over to Uinta as Jared Blanthorne comes off the field under his own power. And so that's going to be a good go here for Maple Mountain to have him come off the field. Typically not something serious if you're coming off under your own power. You never want to see injuries, especially in any game, but especially in high school football. It's always tough here. But we'll take a look at the Car Guys instant replay. You just tell Blanthorne just gets caught up in that pile there.
Yep, just gets caught up under the pile of not only Spanish Fork, but also his fellow teammates as well. And coming from somebody that's been under many of those piles playing on the offensive line, that's not good at all. But it's good to see him that he walked out on his own power.
4th and 1. Here's the give right up the middle. Jensen's going to get the first down and more into the secondary, wrestling his way down to the 36-yard line. That's another first down as he just kind of hits that middle, lowers the shoulder, and that's probably one of the more productive runs up the middle we've seen so far tonight here from Spanish Fork.
The longest run so far for the Dons on offense all game long came on a huge, crucial down conversion here as we see this plows up the middle into the secondary, continues to have his feet moving and gains positive yards. One thing I am concerned about, though, I think that's like the 6th helmet I've seen come off in this ball game. Those chin straps need to get tied on there a little bit more.
An unsportsmanlike conduct penalty came in there at the very end of the play, and it goes against the Dons. So I believe that's going to give them the first down still, but it moves the ball back to the 49-yard line here for a first down. And going to set up a 1st and 4, it looks like. Nope, they're going to move the chains now. Okay. So it will be a first down. It's going to move the ball back, though, to the Maple Mountain side of the field, to the 49.
There have been 12 penalties so far in this ballgame. Tonight, Maple Mountain has 8 for 90 yards.
And that's just definitely something that's going to maybe come back to hurt you late in this ballgame. Kiesel trying to get outside the pocket, looking downfield, throws it deep, looking for Higginson, and that one just overthrew. Higginson kind of got turned around there and kind of lost the momentum trying to get back on that ball.
Yeah, Kiesel getting flushed out of the pocket, forced to his right side, luckily, which is his throwing arm. And we seen his strength in his arm, but just right there was not able to connect with Higginson. So back and forth we go, playing the penalty game here. It's like a chess match of penalties.
It just got windy, and I had a piece of paper in front of me that decided to blow somewhere. I'm not sure. It went somewhere onto the soccer field. I'm not sure what it was. Oh, it's just a roster from last week, and that goes my water. It's been a while since I've been here at Maple Mountain. I forget how windy it gets here at the mouth of the canyon. Outside, here comes the carry. Going around the corner is going to be Salofafuna.
And another penalty. Some laundry coming from the back judge. So just in the last 2 minutes alone, we've seen 4 penalties called.
So that's going to Spanish Fork looks like they're moving back on the play, and we'll see here. It's going to be
another personal foul.
And that's definitely something, if you're just getting a little too excited, you have to just kind of let the game happen, because you have a great run here by Salofafuna, but now you just negated that based off a penalty. I'm not even sure, looking at the replay, when that penalty came in, but maybe we didn't catch it on our replay. And that's going to be a first down. Now it's going to still remain first down for Spanish Fork back at the 39-yard line, but it'll be first down 13. Kiesel here from the shotgun. He's got 2 receivers to the top. Salofafuna, the back again. Kiesel is going to keep it, cuts up the middle, gets hit in the middle of that line, and he's going to be brought down by 3 or 4 Golden Eagles. He's going to get a couple on the carry, but it looks like Colby Smith getting there to break the stop.
Spanish Fork still trying to find that momentum that they had on that first drive here in the second half, in that third quarter. And on that drive, what made them so successful was just the little passes here, the little passes there, the 5 yards out. And right now they're struggling to find that momentum.
So now second down and 10 coming up, ball on the 36-yard line. And this is definitely something to keep an eye on, Brand. This wind kind of came up out of nowhere, and this could affect the downfield passing game as well. That ball gets either caught up, it could die, or it could just sail on a quarterback. Something to keep an eye on the rest of the way. Kiesel steps back to pass with time, steps up, rolls away. He's at the 35, picks up a key block. He's going to get a first down. Braden Christensen came back to hit a nice block there that was able to spring Kiesel for a few more yards. He's going to be short of the first down, but he's going to be maybe a couple of yards shy of the marker.
Yeah, it sets up a manageable third down for Spanish Fork. And Kiesel just, again, when he can't find his receivers open, he has no problem and has no hesitation whatsoever taking off with that ball and trying to get some positive yards, which we just saw him do.
Third down and 3, ball on the 29-yard line. 3 wide receivers come on the play. Landon Jensen, the deep back here, he's going to get the call right up the middle. Once again, attacking the middle of that Maple Mountain defense, and you came up short once again. But you have to kind of wonder, if you're in 2-down territory there, that call on third down makes a little more sense, that you would go with something conservative to see if you can get the marker.
Yeah, we've seen that Spanish Fork has been very consistent with their third down and fourth down in shorts. We just run the ball up the middle or run the ball through the guards, and sets up a 4th down and 1, and still too far for a field goal attempt, and the offense still on the field. I wouldn't be surprised if they try to run the ball again right here.
4th down and 1. A big yard coming up here. The Maple Mountain defense has been stout all night. We'll see if they can make one more stop. Kiesel on the quarterback keeper. Hits the middle. It's going to be close. It's going to be right on the marker. They might have to measure this one.
It's going to be close, judging by the field judge on the opposite side. he himself, where he's marked, is well short of that first down marker. And judging by the eye test, if they just do that, which they won't, they're going to call an official's timeout to bring the chains. But tip your cats off to Maple Mountain's front seven. How many times tonight have we seen them stop fourth down or third down in shorts? They just continue to be consistent. They continue to lower their shoulder pads and to get in the trenches and stop any momentum or any run play from Spanish Fork.
And this is a big measurement here. We'll see. It looked like he got a little closer than he did up on the spot, but I still think he's short. He is short by maybe a quarter of a football there, but that's, Brandon, like you said, that just shows you exactly what this Maple Mountain defense has done. They've clogged that gap. There's no room for Kiesel to go. I'm kind of surprised that maybe they didn't, try to get Kiesel outside there. Maple Mountain collapsing right down the middle.
Exactly. There have been no success going up the middle like that at all tonight, and yet they try to go on a 4th and 1. It would have been nice to see maybe Kiesel try to take it on the quarterback option, maybe go to the outside of a tackle. But hey, if you're Maple Mountain, you'll take it. You get the ball back with 8:48 to go.
Hall from shotgun. He's going to keep it on first down. He's going to hit the 40, makes the man miss, still on his feet to across the 46-yard line. He's going to be close to a first down, maybe a half a yard shy.
Devin Argyle, if he doesn't make that tackle, Jaron Hall is still running, and Ryan is getting really excited on the call here. Devin Argyle, just a great textbook tackle to get his head on just the right side of Jaron Hall. Jaron Hall, you can't say enough about his athleticism to make things happen.
Hall from shotgun, 4 wide receivers on the play. That's Casper, as it's Hall on the keeper outside. He's going to get the first down, get across the 40-yard line, and then he's brought out of bounds at around the 41, maybe the 42-yard line, and that's a first down. And I think the good thing here if you're Maple Mountain, Brandon, is every time you get a first down, that's about another minute and a half you're running off that clock.
Yes, exactly. You only have a 2-point lead, even though it feels like Maple Mountain might think that they have a bigger lead. And so they want to use as much clock as they can, and anytime they're going to get out of bounds, they're going to take that opportunity just like they just did.
1st and 10, ball on the 41-yard line. Shotgun set for Hall. Here's the give right up the middle. This is Casper as he gets across the 45 to about the 47. Sorry, that's Jordan Larson, his first carry of the night for the Golden Eagles. Maple Mountain kind of has a couple of different people that can get in there and get carries for Coach Burton Shaw and the Golden Eagles offense.
Running back by committee in full force on this drive. It's funny that you mentioned that wind a little earlier, Ryan. The wind coming from the east out of the canyon straight to the west at a diagonal position, and we haven't seen a pass play yet. And speak of the devil.
Hall's going to step back to throw. He's going to look deep. He's got a man out there, and that's in and out of the hands of, once again, Dawson Butler had a step on Tanner Argyle, and in and out of his hands. You can tell that Butler a little frustrated there, slapping those hands together.
As you can tell, Butler throwing his hands up in the air. It's just everybody has one of those nights. And he's had one catch, and right there, boom, just right through the hands. And all the balls that have been so close for him tonight are the ones that are going to hurt the most, just because he knows he should have caught them.
And he has a step on Argyle. Argyle's on his hip. There's no way that Argyle can get there without committing a pass interference. Here's a little trickery on the reverse. It's Casper outside to the 50, to the 40. This one could be gone. It's a foot race to the end zone. 20, 10, Austin Edwards in. Touchdown, Maple Mountain. And the Golden Eagles have created some separation here in the 4th quarter.
Just a fantastic play call from Coach Burton Shaw and his staff, catching the Dons off guard with an old school reverse. As you see Jaron take the ball and just do a pitch back to Edwards. Edwards, who hits the corner and then just turns it into another gear at the 40, and see you later. Nobody's going to touch him, right into the end zone. That was textbook execution.
Now a big extra point coming here to try to extend this one. Right now it's an 8-point lead for Maple Mountain. This would make it a 2-score game with 7:11 to go. Kick is up, it looks good, and it is no good. He missed it. And so it's an 8-point bowl game, so Spanish Fork maybe hanging in there, Brandon, right now by a thread with 7:11 to go. Let's take a quick moment here and let's thank our sponsors here for helping out with this broadcast here on Spanish Fork 17. As we see one of them right here with the Car Guys instant replay. As right now, Austin Edwards with the big touchdown here on homecoming weekend.
Austin Edwards taking it to the house. Again, these wonderful replays brought to you by the Car Guys all night long and all season long. And also, big shout out to Two Jacks Pizza, Lance Wilson from State Farm, who assists people on a daily basis. And that was a good assist of the game right there as well from Jaron Hall. Very nice flick a la Magic Johnson. Coming around to the corner as Austin Edwards taking it to the house. MVP Sports, we will give that MVP Sports MVP away at the end of the game tonight.
7 minutes, 11 seconds, and the Spanish Fork offense hanging in right now by a thread. Tanner Dayton puts a foot into it at the 40. It goes deep, and Saili's going to watch it fly out of the end zone. And Tanner Dayton has once again put one through the end zone. So Spanish Fork starts at the 20. And Brandon, you talk about this offense for Spanish Fork tonight. Their most success, they've probably come with the run, except when they get those 3rd and shorts and 4th and shorts.
Anytime Spanish Fork has been successful tonight with the run, it's been on longer plays, and especially with their leading rusher. It's weird to say, but their leading rusher is their quarterback in Nate Kiesel. Anytime he has opportunity to improvise and to break outside the tackle box, that's when they've been most successful with the running plays.
Spanish Fork was trailing a week ago at home against Springville, and they were able to find a way to come back to tie the game in the 4th quarter. Here's Kiesel on a straight-up option. Gets outside across the 25 to about the 27, maybe the 28-yard line. So a good game, about 7 or 8 on first downs. The clock ticks under 7 minutes to go here in the 4th quarter.
And again, Kiesel getting outside of the tackle box and having opportunity to improvise. That's what an option is. It gives you options to improvise. And he, of course, taking it, calling his own number and going upfield. And I want to see more of that. Kiesel, he needs to be more improvisational, if you will, for lack of another phrase, and he needs to be more creative in getting that opportunity.
2nd down and 2, ball on the 28-yard line. They're going to go 4 wide receivers here on the play. Kiesel, 3-step drop with some time, throws over the middle. That's complete. That's going to be a first down out across the 36-yard line into the hands there of number 9, Brooks Ringer, just running around, just kind of found the soft spot in the zone and just sat there.
It's just textbook. You want to find where the first down marker is. You go, you turn around, you settle down, look for where your quarterback is, and make sure that if he throws it to you, you catch it. And just right in the middle of coverage, Ringer comes up with it, a solid catch, turns around, gets upfield for a gain of 2 more yards, and another first down for Spanish Fork.
Ball on the 37-yard line for Spanish Fork. 3 wide receivers on the play. Salofa Foon to the back. Here's the snap. Kiesel flags flying. This is going to be a procedure call against Spanish Fork. That looks like the left side of that line just kind of jumped a little early, and that's going to be 5 yards here against Spanish Fork.
The 13th penalty of the game, and for Spanish Fork, they're racking up. They're at 105 yards now in penalties.
They had a lot of those who have been 15-yard penalties for personal fouls, and when you give the other team 105 free yards, that's going to allow them to be able to find a way to pull away. And really, Spanish Fork might be lucky on a night where the Maple Mountain offense might be maybe flowing a little bit better, that the Golden Eagles don't maybe have a 2-touchdown lead with some of the opportunities they've had.
Exactly.
First down at 15. Ball on the 32-yard line. Kiesel, 3-step drop. He's going to look to throw. Flags come in. Diving and making the catch there. Looks like it's Isaac Pendleton. We'll see what the flag is.
It's going to be another false start again on Spanish Fork. I believe it was the left tackle, number 73, Tanner Parker, who got a little antsy yet again.
It will be a false start against Spanish Fork. And now, Brandon, they were in a 1st and 10. Now they're going to be in a 1st and about 20, coming back from their own. Looks like they're going to move it back to around the 22-yard line. That's what I want to say. 27-yard line, sorry. As they line it there on that left hash, the players were going straight out of the huddle, and then all of a sudden quickly adjust the ball being there on the left hash. 5:20 to go, 4th quarter. That clock running very quickly here in the 4th quarter. Spanish Fork needs to strike. They need to strike quick. Kiesel with some time, steps up, being chased from behind. He's going to get to the 30. He's going to get hit, and he's brought quickly out of bounds And every time Kiesel gets outside that pocket and goes to run, you're not seeing one-on-one. You're seeing 4 or 5 gray jerseys get there, and that's exactly what you want if you're a defensive coordinator.
Yeah, if you take a look at this replay here, Kiesel breaks outside of the pocket. He steps up, finds that there's nobody open, so he takes off, runs with it. And just like you said, there's 1 on 5. And he was lucky that he was close enough to the out-of-bounds line that ball that was poked away just went out instead of into a Maple Mountain defender's hands.
2nd and 14, ball on the 33-yard line. 3 wide receivers on the play. Kiesel takes the quarterback draw, and he almost gets hit in the backfield. And, in fact, he gets back just about a yard or so before he's brought down. And that, once again, I mean, Brandon, that clock now ticks under 5 minutes. And this is where running the ball is great if you can move the ball. But now you're in a 3rd and 12. You give the ball back to Maple Mountain. With the way they've been running it lately, who knows if you get the ball back again.
Yeah, it's a questionable play call if you are Spanish Fork. Just 2 straight quarterback draws up the middle like that when you have almost 20 yards to go. And it brings up a crucial 3rd down to 13. With an empty backfield, you have to assume a pass.
Kiesel's now going to roll out. Now he's going to look down the field. Got a man right around the target, and it looks like, as it picked off, it looks like it goes incomplete. And that was almost into the hands there. It looks like Rokovitz was in on the coverage. Jordan Larson over there as well. But now it's 4th and 12. And now, kind of with the way you position you are, you don't really have a choice but to punt here.
Yeah, it was just a straight designed roll out to the right. And Kiesel fired it, and his receiver just was not ready. That was Brooks Ringer. And by the time Brooks Ringer turned around to see where the ball was already almost in the hands of the defender.
I should correct myself. John Elmore there on the coverage. A low punt's going to take a bounce, and it takes a nice Spanish Fork roll. It's going to roll dead around the 18-yard line. So with 4:11 to go in the 4th quarter, all of a sudden, now the Spanish Fork defense really has to come and make a play. And this Maple Mountain offense has been able to, at times tonight, really control that line of scrimmage.
If Maple Mountain, if they continue to control that line of scrimmage and allow Jaron Hall and Jordan Larson and Brett King to get these 5-yard runs here, 5-yard runs there, 3-yard runs, then the clock, next thing you know, is going to be triple zeros. If you're Spanish Fork, you need to create a turnover somehow. If the ball is by you, try to rip it out, try to poke it out, and they need a turnover.
1st and 18, ready to go. Jaron Hall from shotgun. The give goes right up the middle, and nothing going on there, as it looks like number 65, and that is going to be Kamea Harmon getting there on the tackle. And nothing going on there, as it looks like Jordan Larson was the one on the carry.
The last thing you want to do if you're Maple Mountain right now is get a 3 and out. The last thing you want is to give the ball back to Kiesel and Spanish Fork with a little over 1:30 or so time left on the clock, because who knows what can happen when desperate times call for desperate measures.
2nd down and 18. 4 receivers for the Golden Eagles here on the play. Shotgun set. They're going to miss communication. Ball's loose, and Jaron Hall heads up play to fall on the football, but had he not, that could have been a disastrous turnover. And now it's going to be 3rd and 18.
Yeah, things continue to get more and more interesting as the clock continues to wind down. Jaron Hall was looking at his fullback in the backfield to hand it off to, I believe it was Brett King, and before he could even hand that ball off, he had to catch the ball first, and that was something that he didn't do, but luckily he had the presence of mind to fall on it.
Casper in motion across the field. Hall from shotgun. We'll see if they're just going to let the whole clock wind down and then call maybe a timeout here. We'll see if they go downfield here. I have mixed feelings about if they'll take a shot downfield here. Hall going to roll out. He's going to look to throw. He's going to have some time. Now he's just going to run. At about the 15, out across the 20. He's going to be escorted out of bounds, which will momentarily, anyway, stop the clock with 2:38. And in fact, I think Spanish Fork, I don't know, maybe the Dons used their first timeout. It doesn't look like it yet. And that's going to bring on, I need to correct myself, the punter for Spanish Fork is Keaton Tippett, number 22, not Dawson Butler. So Freddie Woods came up during halftime and told me that, so I'm so sorry for getting that wrong throughout the ball game. But Tippett will come into punt. Tanner Argyle back deep, along with Way Stanton. One thing is, Spanish Fork should get pretty good field position, depending on what happens here with this punt. Here's the snap, and it's away. It's going to be a low line drive. Stanton gets away from it. That one's going to bounce, and now he has to kind of leap over the football, and the ball goes out of bounds here. And pretty good field position if you're Spanish Fork with 2:28. You have your timeouts to play with, and now this is kind of the drive of the game needed if you're Brett Kiesel, or if you're Nate Kiesel, and you have a shot to go downfield.
You're at the 50-yard line. You got 50 yards to go to get in the end zone. You're down by a touchdown and a 2-point conversion pending, and you have ample time. This right now is time for Kiesel to shine. This is where Nate Kiesel needs to take the game and the team on his shoulders, and he needs to make some plays.
Last week in a similar situation, he got sacked in the end zone for his safety that led to the Springville victory. Kiesel steps up, steps away, flags come in, as it looks like Kiesel just kind of threw the ball away, and now we're going to have looks like we'll see what the penalty is. It's a hold against Spanish Fork, and that's not what you can have in these last 2 minutes when you're trying to drive. I mean, it's just one of those things. It's one of those mental mistakes that you got to make as an offensive lineman that cost your team now 10 yards.
And especially deep in this ball game, deep in the fourth quarter, you can't have those penalties. Right now, Spanish Fork penalized over 10 times for 130 yards.
And so now at a 1st and 20 from the 40 with 2:23 to go. And this is when you got Peyton Pond at corner. He is playing well off Isaac Pendleton at the bottom of your screen. Shotgun set. Kiesel steps back to pass. Now going to be pressured, rolls out, almost goes down, gets away from another, throws it down the field. Diving but trying to come up with it was Brooks Ringer, but it goes incomplete to bring up 2nd down.
Boy, the fearsome foursome up front for Maple Mountain in the backfield every single play, making Kiesel work for every single yard. And you got to tip your hat off to Kiesel for not getting sacked. If we take a look here, Kiesel, he just runs to his right. He's scrambling for his life, barely escapes getting sacked there, and then he gets plowed right as he throws the football.
And now you're in a 2nd and 25, back on your own 35-yard line. 2nd and 15. Kiesel steps back to pass with some time, looking, drops it off in the flat. Here's Brooks Ringer. He's got some room to run. That's not Ringer. That's Braden Christensen, the tight end. And Christensen able to get out across the 45 to the 47-yard line. So now you get kind of a manageable 3rd down here. You got about 12 yards down to 3rd and 13.
3rd and 13 is a lot more manageable than what we've seen earlier with 3rd and 20s. But still, that is not an easy conversion. And it's something that, honestly, Spanish Fork has struggled with tonight, has been their 3rd down and 4th down conversions. And this is definitely 2-down territory. But you got to get a good chunk of yards here, if not a 1st down.
Shotgun set. Kiesel to drop back to pass. The wind begins to swirl. He steps up, gets away. Now he's going to get right towards the sideline, and he is ushered out of bounds quickly, and now it's going to be 4th down.
This is the play of the game if you're Spanish Fork. 4th down and 13, 2 minutes left, and you're driving to potentially tie the ball game up, and it all hinges down to this play.
4th and 14. You're going to need the Maple Mountain 40-yard line. It looks like the Golden Eagles are just going to maybe drop their defensive backs to play off. They're going to be kind of maybe play some sort of prevent-style defense here. Man goes in motion, Salo Fafuna the back. Kiesel takes the snap with some time, throws it out there. That's complete, going to be right around the marker. Pendleton breaks a tackle down the sideline, and he's going to be tripped up around the 23-yard line. A big conversion there as Isaac Pendleton makes the catch, and one-on-one tackle. Peyton Pond couldn't quite come up with it.
Well, so far, that is the play of the game for Spanish Fork that required a 4th and 13, and Pendleton comes up with a huge catch, dodges the tackle, gets upfield for almost 15, 17 more yards. That is exactly what the doctor ordered if you're Spanish Fork.
It's got to be a Lance Wilson State Farm assist of the game to keep this one kind of alive here for Spanish Fork with 1:52 to go in the 4th quarter. Don's trailing by 8, looking to drive. Salofa Funa the back. 3 wide receivers. Kiesel steps back with some time, drops it off to Salofa Funa, as Funa's going to kind of slightly break one tackle before going down. Picks up around 2 yards and brings up a 2nd and 8.
I like the play call. It's a decent play call, but I would have liked to have seen it on the opposite side. Maybe give Funa a little bit more room to run with it. but at least he was able to get out of bounds and stop that clock. Sets up a manageable 2nd down and 8.
Salofa Funa heading over to the sidelines. He'll check out of the game. Landon Jensen coming in, number 10. You see him right there on your screen behind Nate Kiesel. Brooks Ringer in the slot. Jensen now moves right next to Kiesel. He's going to throw that out route, looking again for Pendleton. That one's going to be broken up. A great defensive play by Elmore. He's been all over the field tonight, able to get in there and knock that one down, and brings up a 3rd and 8. 1:41 to go. And if you're Spanish Fork, you definitely have to think now you're definitely in 2-down territory. You got to get something here, whether you don't get the first down, but you got to maybe look to pick up 4 or 5 yards to make it a very manageable 4th down.
Exactly. You got to get a good solid chunk, possibly 5 to 6 yards here to make it easy, but you honestly want to get to the first down marker. If you're a receiver, if you're slot, you look and find where that marker is.
Kiesel steps back to pass with time, looking to the end zone. He's got Higginson, ball's batted up, and it goes incomplete. And now it's 4th and 8. And not want to say, I mean, not necessarily a poor decision, but you throw that into double coverage in a spot where Higginson, how great of a receiver he is, he didn't have much chance. We'll see that on the Car Guys instant replay. I don't know if Higginson right there is your best option. I guess he was open, but the ball just kind of floated out there. But he maybe had to throw it a little bit sooner.
You saw it right there in that replay, 3 gray shirts around that 1 white shirt, and you have to think that somebody else might have been open, but you got to put it where your receiver can make a play. You got to make it manageable. You got to make it a potential. But we thought that the last 4th down was the play of the game. This is definitely the play of the game.
4th and 8. Kiesel back to pass with time. He's throwing end zone, throws it up, and did he catch it? Yes, he did. Touchdown, Jackson Higginson. And now it is a 2-point game, 13-11. This 2-point conversion is going to be huge. And Jackson Higginson comes up with the big play.
Just when you thought the drama couldn't get any higher in this rivalry game, dial up Higginson for the touchdown. Hey, tip your hat off to Kiesel. Oh my goodness, what a catch by Higginson. Kiesel putting the ball right in the exact spot where only his receiver can catch it. Higginson with the fingertip catch and the presence of mind to keep his foot in the back of the end zone. Touchdown for the Dons, 2-point conversion pending, and we could have a potential overtime scenario here.
It's just one of those plays you could just kind of tell the whole stadium was waiting to see whether that was called a touchdown or incomplete. 2-point conversion try here for Spanish Fork. Kiesel from the shotgun. He's looking to throw, steps up, rolls away, throws it up. It's batted down, and Maple Mountain holds, and now a big situation coming. A lot of pressure there on Nate Kiesel.
Well, the pass was there. There were 2 receivers going in opposite directions, one on the back coming to the left, one in the front going to the right, and the one in the front just happened to get his hand on the ball. As we take a look at this replay, Kiesel somehow dodges the pressure in the backfield, makes a jump pass, and it was tipped and deflected down. Oh, it's a heartbreaker if you're Spanish Fork coming all the way from behind to score the touchdown, and then to have that 2-point conversion be no good, but still, there's an opportunity here for an onside kick.
Spanish Fork recovered an onside kick in a similar situation last week, down by 2 against Springville at home, and now once again down by 2 here in the 4th quarter. We'll see here what they come up with. It almost looked like Braden Christensen, the ball thrown a little bit behind him. We'll see if maybe, oh, that's the Higginson touchdown. Never mind, I thought we were seeing the 2-point conversion again. Boy, I'm glad this isn't college, Brandon, because I guarantee you the refs would have been getting buzzed very quickly to double check that one. But Higginson did get that foot in from everything that I saw. Did get in, but that would have been one at the college level, would have been reviewed for sure.
Most definitely, but that's what makes the beauty of high school football so great, is that they don't have that advanced technology, and it's just the honest eyes of the referee and the official. But here comes more drama.
Onside kick, 1:28 to go. James Daw will put the onside kick on for Spanish Fork. Line drive kick, it is up, it is loose, but I think it went out of bounds. And if it didn't, it was recovered by Maple Mountain around the 41-42 yard line. And so Golden Eagles have the ball, and now if you're the Spanish Fork defense, you need to stop, and you need to stop right now if you want a shot to win this ball game.
1:28, not much time left on the clock. And if you are Spanish Fork, you got to use all your timeouts. As we see that onside kick go off of the Maple Mountain player out of bounds, giving no opportunity for the Dons to recover. A little too much time left on the clock for a victory formation, so you'd have to try at least run maybe 1 or 2 plays. And we'll see what Coach Burtonshaw dials up for the Golden Eagles.
Shotgun set for Jaron Hall. Single back to his left. Trips wide receivers to the top of your screen. Here comes the pressure, the give on first down. Running right into Salo Fafuna. Believe that was Jordan. Was that Jordan Larson was on the carry. And now with 1:15, that clock runs. Timeout, though, called here by Spanish Fork. I'm trying to remember if they have all 3 of their timeouts. I believe they do. So that would be their first timeout of the half. And so they did the first thing they needed to on first down, but now you got to get 2 more stops.
This is crunch time. And it's very risky as well if you're Maple Mountain, because you don't want to end up giving a ball over on a careless turnover here as well, whether it be a fumble or anything, whether it be a bad snap. We've seen a couple of those tonight from Maple Mountain, and one of them resulted in a safety. So right here, it's crucial for the fundamentals to be sound and to be well taken care of.
1 minute, 20 seconds on the clock. Spanish Fork in a similar situation last week against Springville, and they came up on the short end of a stick. We'll see here if they can try to find some way to pull this one out here against Maple Mountain. The Golden Eagles trying to hold on to remain in second place atop Region 8 right now, before hitting the road next week for Uinta. Second down and 11. Shotgun set for Jaron Hall. Hall rolls out to the left. He's going to keep it at the 40. He's going to get outside of the 45. Cuts back inside, just using as much clock as he can. And he's going to pick up around 4 on the play. And that brings up a third down and about 6 coming up.
Clock continues to roll. Take a look at this replay here. Jaron Hall just going to take it himself, sprint to the left-hand side. Just when he gets close to the sideline, he's like, I don't want to go out there, so he cuts back inside, falls down on the ground, trying to give his team as much opportunity to use that clock as possible. But Spanish Fork calls another timeout to try and stop the clock with just over a minute left to go.
And you have to wonder, I mean, Brandon, this situation, this is a very tough decision of what you're going to do. If you stick with the run, some coaches would say, hey, let's throw for it, we get a first down, ball game's over. I don't know if I necessarily want to. I think I'd almost want to run the clock, and then if we don't get it, punt and make Spanish Fork go the length of the field.
That seems like the smart decision to do, and I think that's probably what they're talking about right now in the Maple Mountain huddle, and as well as Spanish Fork trying to prepare their defense for anything. Who knows? Coach Burtonshaw, we've seen some trickeration with him with that reverse touchdown to Austin Edwards. He could try to be setting up something. We'll just have to see how it pans out.
A big third down and 7, 3 receivers on the play, 4 if you count James Wilson at the top of your screen. Hall ready to go. He's going to take it just on the direct keeper. Spanish Fork needs to stop him, and Hall is going to be brought down. He's got maybe back forward progress to the line of scrimmage. They're going to say he lost a yard, maybe 2. Apui getting there from his safety position. And now it's 4th down, and the clock stopped at 1:04. Spanish Fork getting the football back, but now they're going to have to drive the length of the field with no timeouts in order to try to take an opportunity to win this game.
I don't know if they put more time on the clock, because I could have sworn it was a minute at 3, and so they must have put some more time up on the clock. But a final attempt here from Spanish Fork to try and stop Maple Mountain. And if they do stop him here, I wouldn't be surprised if to see maybe a little pooch punt, a little pooch kick from Jaron Hall.
You can see right now they're talking to Tippett about what to do, a couple coaches for Maple Mountain. And now Tippett will be the one to come on the field. I would say you're probably not going to see a fake in this situation, just because it's too risky to switch momentum. And why not with the way, the one thing to keep an eye on, Brandon, you do have that wind that's died down a little bit coming across the field. And so if you're Tippett's here, you almost want to maybe punt it more towards that side, let the wind kind of bring it back. But we'll see what they do.
One thing you don't want is to give Spanish Fork an opportunity to run this thing back.
Tippett's waiting for the punt. High snap, he gets it down. The punt is off, and it's over towards the sidelines. It's going to go out of bounds at around, they're going to walk it off here to the 35. Still walking to the 40. To the 41-yard line is where they mark this off with 57.9. A little bit maybe too good a field position than you ideally wanted if you're Coach Burtonshaw at Maple Mountain. But with the way the Spanish Fork offense has been tonight, they've been kind of having a hard time with that downfield passing attack.
But on that last drive that we saw that resulted in a touchdown for Spanish Fork, they had the passing work for them. And so they have time. 57 seconds is a lot of time, folks, especially with this field position.
No timeout, so the sideline here is going to be very important. Kiesel steps up, has plenty of time. You have to do something with it. Flag comes in, and Kiesel's going to get knocked out of bounds around the 40s. Looking to see where they're going to mark that. It looks like it would be about the 45, but the flag in the backfield going to be likely a hold from where it came in. And it is a holding against Spanish Fork. And this is not the time you needed that holding penalty.
Absolutely not. Again, the key tonight for Spanish Fork has been themselves shooting themselves in the foot. Penalties have been the Achilles heel for the Dons. And you see in the top of your screen, the offensive lineman just falls on top of the Maple Mountain defender. And when you fall on top of a defender like that, you make it easy for an official to make that call. But with 48 seconds left, there's still time for some Spanish Fork heroics.
We saw it in the baseball diamond with the game going to the final inning in the state championship. The two basketball games came down to buzzer beaters. Why should the football games be any different? 48 seconds to go. Three-step drop, pressure comes, Kiesel gets rid of it, drops it off to Salofa Funa. He's got distance and he's got room. Out across, he steps out around the 41-yard line. So a lot though, 8 seconds comes off the clock to get back to the original line of scrimmage, but it's something if you're Spanish Fork.
He gives you a good field position, about 40 seconds left in the game, and he just catches the ball, turns upfield, and just barely gets out of bounds, just shy of the 45-yard line.
Mainly there, he got out of bounds to stop the clock. 39.9 on the clock. 2nd and 10, ball on the Maple Mountain 41-yard line. Sorry, the Spanish Fork 41-yard line. Kiesel giving some directions out there to Isaac Pendleton to the bottom of your screen. Jackson Higginson, the deep threat to the top. Kiesel steps up, has some time, goes over the middle. That one's complete to Ringer, but in the middle of the field, that clock's going to continue to run.
Spanish Fork needs to get on the ball, and they need to get a play off to stop this clock. Clock continues to go. 20 seconds now.
20 seconds on the clock. They're going to go here. 15 on the clock. Kiesel to throw. 3-step drop. Gets it to Isaac Pendleton. He didn't get out of bounds, though, with 12 seconds. The clock's going to stop while they move the chains, but it's not going to be able to stop the clock here with some time. 12.4 on the clock. Going to have to get up. Hurry. Clock running. 8 seconds on the clock. And now they're going to spike it with 6.9. And you have to think you have one play now. It's probably just coming up to throwing it up and hoping your guy comes down with it.
Spanish Fork used up a lot of clock on those last two plays, and is not very good time management. But literally with 6 seconds left and with the field position that you have, you're on the 45-yard line. There really is nothing more that you can do than drop a play of some sort of Hail Mary, unless you channel your inner Boise State from 2007 and try a hook and lateral.
Or that hook and ladder on bowl season last year. I think it was Western Michigan and somebody who had this. Talk about an exciting game. That was a fun one to watch, that pitch all the way across the field. And I was kind of in shock, though. We'll see. 6.9 seconds, and whistles blow. Delay of game against Spanish Fork. So now this moves it back 5 more yards, which I guess I don't want to say maybe doesn't matter. I mean, 45 yards, 50 yards. But now Kiesel's going to have to let it just go to the end zone. Maple Mountain has dropped all their defensive backs. They're playing about 20 yards off the ball at the 30. Everybody here has a good idea. This ball is just going deep. Kiesel rolls out, has time, steps up, going for the end zone. He's got Higginson. Batted it down. Maple Mountain's won. The ball got thrown up and coming down, and a great way to knock it down. Who else than John Elmore? And the fans will storm the field as Maple Mountains won on homecoming.
Another rivalry game we talked about before this game started, Ryan. This game had the potential to be an instant classic. We thought it was going to be a shootout on the offensive side of the football, but it came down to a defensive battle. We take another look here. Kiesel has plenty of time. His offensive line doing a great job. Steps up into the pocket, fires it just about as much strength as he has. And Elmore had perfect position to bat that ball away before anything could happen for Spanish Fork. And Maple Mountain ends up becoming victorious.
And definitely an exciting win here on Maple Mountain's homecoming. A 13-11 final score. We're going to take a quick break here on Spanish Fork 17, and we'll come back here to Maple Mountain High School and wrap this one up. Once again, our final score, Maple Mountain 13, Spanish Fork 11. The Golden Eagles are victorious here on homecoming. You're watching high school football here on the Spanish Fork Community Network.
Need a new car or truck? The Car Guys has the best selection of used vehicles at the best prices in Spanish Fork. The Car Guys know their automobiles to get you the best car for your needs and your budget. The Car Guys at 872 North Main in Spanish Fork.
In Spanish Fork, see your good neighbor State Farm agent Lance Wilson for your insurance and financial needs.
MVP Sports is the #1 source for sporting goods in Spanish Fork. Football, soccer, all the fall sports, we've got you covered. Check out our new custom t-shirt builder. Design at home and we'll build it for you. MVP Sports, 72 North Main in Spanish Fork. You know Triple T Heating and Cooling, but did you know that Triple T does plumbing? From tankless hot water, soft water, and reverse osmosis drinking water systems, right down to that leaky faucet. Triple T sure does plumbing. Call Triple T at 801-798-7711 today.
A very excited Maple Mountain student section. They have made their way onto the field to celebrate here on their homecoming weekend. And the Golden Eagles get a 13-11 victory over the Spanish Fork Dons here today. Ryan Pickens and Brandon Crow. We're going to wrap this one up here as we're looking down to the field. I'm trying to see if our sideline, our post-game show is ready to go quite yet. And I don't see. So we're gonna keep it here. They'll let us know when we're ready. But anyway, Maple Mountain comes out victorious. And Brandon, when you take a look at this one, Spanish Fork had their chances, had their opportunities. That Maple Mountain defense just came up huge.
Maple Mountain, their defense was absolutely phenomenal. If you're Coach Burtonshaw, you cannot be any more happier. That's how happy I am for this team, because I just started making up my own vocabulary. But you have to tip your hats off. I can't even, how many, it was 5 or 6 times. There was 4th or 3rd and short, and they ended up stopping them. They were twice pinned in their own goal line, and were able to stop them and hold Spanish Fork to only a field goal. And really, they only gave up 1 touchdown. But hats off to the Maple Mountain defense coming up clutch when they needed to.
And you have to kind of think, too, those penalties for Spanish Fork. I mean, they had a lot of personal fouls. They had a holding call here late on that final drive. Those little penalties came back to probably hurt Spanish Fork a lot more than maybe at the time everyone kind of looked at, well, it's a 1-score game. That's fine, but over time, those penalties begin to add up.
Exactly. Spanish Fork finished on the night with like 12 penalties for almost 150 yards. And when you are playing in a rivalry game, it comes down to just 2 points. You can't give up 150 yards to your rival at all and expect to stay in this football game.
Just one of those nights where you take a look at it for Maple Mountain, where they're going to look back on this one, and this is one of those wins that is a momentum builder going forward. This is one where you're going to look back and you're going to say, we were 4th quarter, we were battling hard against our crosstown rival, and we came out victorious. It's one of those games where you get later on in October and maybe into the 1st or 2nd round of the playoffs and things get tough, you kind of draw back on this one and say, hey, we've been here before, we know how to fight, we know how to win. And kind of like you said before, we had another, I would say, pretty close to an instant classic here, a defensive battle for sure. We're going to get ready. Brandon and I will come back, but let's get ready to send it down onto the sideline. Freddie Woods and Sam Higginson take it away. Sam, your son had another nice touchdown that I'm sure you're going to talk about. Let's send it down to the sidelines.
So the battle between Spanish Fork and Maple Mountain ends in Maple Mountain's favor in a game that really was a defensive battle, Sam, all along. And you got the feeling that neither team was really clicking on offense. Neither team was scoring at will or doing what it wanted to.
Yeah, we talked about it at the halftime show. The offenses really didn't put it together tonight. They just couldn't seem to find a rhythm. Spanish came out and ran the ball really effectively and kept the Maple Mountain offense off. I mean, that Maple Mountain defense must have been extremely tired because they were able to kind of pick up those first downs, went for it several times on fourth down, and it was really tough on the Maple Mountain defense because they were held out on the field for a long time, and that tires guys out. But again, the offenses really didn't finish. They didn't close, and it was also a game filled with a lot of penalties. That was a big theme for tonight.
So Spanish Fork was definitely harmed by those penalties, and I think something else, we got to give credit to that Maple Mountain defensive line. They sent blitzes, they were all over Nate Kiesel, and when he did have time, he was able to make plays, and that's where Maple Mountain defense started to get killed at the end there.
Yeah, I will tell you, Maple Mountain's defensive line deserves a lot of credit for tonight. Their linebackers, their entire front seven did a fantastic job of putting a ton of pressure on Nate Kiesel, and didn't really give him a chance to sit back in the pocket and do what he does best. He's got a really strong arm, as you saw, but you know what? It's really tough when you got a lot of pressure in your face. You got to give a lot of credit to Maple Mountain defense for being able to finish. They did finish where the Spanish Fork offense didn't seem to be able to finish when they got into the red zone.
So in a game that was close, rivalry, heated game, Maple Mountain was able to make enough plays on defense to get the win, and that's all we have tonight.
Yeah, it was a great game, and this is exactly what you expect in a rivalry kind of a game. Maple Mountain getting the big homecoming victory. Spanish Fork has their backs against the wall for the rest of the region, puts Maple Mountain in a really good position. I think they're 1-1 in region now, and so getting that game over with, it's a big victory for them. So
we got Springville sitting at the top of the region. We'll see if anyone can take them down.
Yeah, that's for sure. I think Springville and Wasatch now is the team to beat. Sounds like they got a big victory over in Salem tonight. So exciting times, and we'll kick it up to the guys up in the booth to give us a final recap. Thanks.
Back to you guys.
Thank you so much, guys, for that. And, I mean, Brandon, when you really take a look at this, Maple Mountain gets off early on. Jaron Hall throws the early interception. Spanish Fork is first and goal from their 1 yard line. They couldn't type it in. They settle for a quick James Daw field goal. And kind of one of those early moments in the ball game when you're like, you have to capitalize there for Spanish Fork.
Exactly. Spanish Fork, they shot themselves in the foot way too many times tonight. Like we talked about, the penalties killed them and their turnovers. And when you have too many penalties and too many turnovers, that is not a recipe for a victory at all. But Sam said it best. You have to tip your caps off to the Maple Mountain defense, specifically the front seven. And if we're going to talk about the MVP of the game, in my opinion, it has to go to the whole Maple Mountain defense as a whole.
Yeah, and I mean, there's no doubt about it. When you take a look at that in high school football, I mean, you see it a little bit in the pros and maybe a little bit in college as well. In high school football, when you get first and goal from the 1, or you get in that 4th and 1, it's really hard to prevent another team from getting a yard. You don't see it a ton in high school football, much less in the same game. That Maple Mountain defense does it 3, 4, I think maybe even like 5 times, something like that. They did a great job of getting a lot of pressure on that front 7 and being able to find a way in order to get those stops. So the MVP Sports MVP of the game goes to that entire Maple Mountain defense. That's a defense, if they can play like that, that shows the defense they're going to be able to maybe make a deep run into the playoffs.
Offense wins games, defense wins championships, and Coach Burtonshaw made an extra effort in the offseason to strengthen that defense, and he wanted to start the season off strong, and so far they have. And Maple Mountain's defense has been one of, if not the biggest reason why they're being so successful right now.
Definitely a big win here tonight for Maple Mountain on their homecoming weekend. They'll be able to take this one into the next year. Until next time when they see Spanish Fork next year, they, I guess, have the bragging rights, so to say, for the next year here in Spanish Fork. As you see Nate Kiesel there, that was the big touchdown late in the game to tie it to Jackson Higginson. We want to let you know right now you can watch replays of this game and our many other broadcasts and programs on our YouTube channel, youtube.com/SpanishFork17, where you can see that one, this game, and our many others, including our broadcast coming up next week. As Brandon, you'll be heading over to Uinta for Maple Mountain and Uinta, an opportunity for the Golden Eagles to get to 3-1. That's going to be a big matchup for Maple Mountain, having to not just play a team in Uinta that maybe might be a little bit of a surprise team, maybe a little bit better than some people expected, compete at this 4A level. But you also have another thing. You have that travel all the way out there to Vernal. That's going to be something kind of look at as well heading into that one.
It's going to be a heck of a travel all the way out there in Vernal, but North St. Pete was a little bit of a travel as well through the canyon, and Maple Mountain came away victorious in that one as well. So like I said, right now it seems as though Coach Burtonshaw has the Maple Mountain Golden Eagles clicking on all cylinders, so it should set up, keyword should, set up for a great matchup next week, and you're just going to have to tune in to find out.
That will be over on Channel 16 next week down in Uinta, Maple Mountain and Uinta. I will be back over at Spanish Fork High School where the Alta Hawks will come in for a non-region game for Spanish Fork. The Hawks will come out of Region 7, the region composed of teams Spanish Fork's already seen, including Mountain View, Timpanogos, and also Orem. So we play 4 teams from Region 7 this year. That one will be a 7 o'clock. Both games are 7 o'clock kick. The Maple Mountain game back over on Channel 16. Spanish Fork will be back over on 17. For our entire crew here at Maple Mountain High School on homecoming week here at Maple Mountain, I'm Ryan Pickens signing off for this time where the Maple Mountain Golden Eagles defeat the Spanish Fork Dons 13-11. Have a great weekend, everybody, and we will see you next week.